Welcome to the Spotlight Effect, shining and obscuring in social situations, an insightful journey into the psychology behind how we perceive ourselves and others in social settings, written by Mindful Literary. Have you ever felt like all eyes were on you, even when they weren't? Or perhaps you've struggled with self-consciousness in various social situations. If so, you're not alone, and this audiobook is here to guide you through understanding and navigating the intricacies of the spotlight effect. In this introductory chapter, we'll lay the foundation for our exploration. We'll define what the spotlight effect is and why it matters in our daily lives. You'll gain insights into the psychological mechanisms that drive this phenomenon and how it shapes our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions in social contexts. Throughout this audiobook, we'll embark on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. We'll unravel the illusions created by the spotlight effect and empower you with practical strategies to shine authentically and navigate social interactions with confidence. Join me as we delve into the fascinating world of social psychology, personal perceptions, and the art of thriving in the spotlight. Whether you're an introvert navigating networking events, a student dealing with performance anxiety, or simply curious about human behavior, this audiobook offers valuable insights and actionable steps to help you shine and obscure in social situations effectively. Let's begin this enlightening journey together. Chapter 1: Understanding the Spotlight Effect. What is the spotlight effect? The spotlight effect is a psychological phenomenon that refers to our tendency to believe that we are being noticed and evaluated by others more than we actually are. It is the feeling that a spotlight is shining on us, highlighting our every flaw and imperfection, while in reality, people are often too preoccupied with their own thoughts and concerns to pay as much attention to us as we think. The overestimation of attention. In social situations, we often become hyper-aware of our own behavior and appearance, assuming that others are closely observing and judging us. We might worry about how we look, how we speak, or how we come across to others. This self-consciousness can lead to anxiety and self-doubt, as we constantly feel like we are under scrutiny. The imaginary audience. The spotlight effect is closely related to the concept of the imaginary audience, a term coined by psychologist David Elkind. It describes our tendency to believe that there is an audience watching and evaluating our every move, even when there is no actual audience present. This belief can create a sense of self-consciousness and pressure to perform, as if we are constantly on a stage. The illusion of transparency. Another aspect of the spotlight effect is the illusion of transparency, which refers to our belief that our internal thoughts and emotions are more apparent to others than they actually are. We may assume that others can easily see our nervousness, insecurity, or embarrassment, when in reality, these internal experiences are not as visible to others as we think. The impact on self-esteem. The spotlight effect can have a significant impact on our self-esteem and self-perception. When we believe that others are constantly watching and judging us, we may become overly self-critical and develop a negative view of ourselves. We may focus on our perceived flaws and shortcomings, leading to feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. The role of confirmation bias. Confirmation bias, a cognitive bias that influences our perception and interpretation of information, can also contribute to the spotlight effect. We tend to pay more attention to instances that confirm our belief that we are being observed and evaluated, while disregarding or downplaying evidence that suggests otherwise. This bias reinforces our belief in the spotlight and perpetuates our self-consciousness. Breaking free from the spotlight. Recognizing and understanding the spotlight effect is the first step towards breaking free from its grip. By realizing that our self-perception may be distorted, we can begin to challenge our negative thoughts and beliefs. It is important to remember that people are generally more focused on themselves and their own concerns, rather than scrutinizing our every move. In the following chapters, we will explore the psychology behind the spotlight effect, its impact on self-perception, and strategies for recognizing and managing it in ourselves and others. By gaining a deeper understanding of this phenomenon, we can learn to navigate social situations with greater confidence and authenticity, freeing ourselves from the unnecessary burden of constant self-consciousness. The psychology behind the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that affects how we perceive ourselves and others in social situations. To truly understand this effect, we need to delve into the underlying psychology that drives it. In this section, we will explore the various psychological factors that contribute to the spotlight effect and shed light on why it occurs. The self as the center of attention. At the core of the spotlight effect lies our tendency to believe that we are the center of attention in social situations. This self-centered bias stems from our innate egocentric nature, where we naturally prioritize our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. As a result, we often overestimate the extent to which others are paying attention to us. The imaginary audience. One psychological factor that fuels the spotlight effect is the concept of the imaginary audience. This refers to the belief that there is an invisible audience constantly observing and judging our every move. This audience is comprised of our peers, acquaintances, and even strangers, all of whom we believe are closely scrutinizing our behavior and appearance. The illusion of transparency. Another psychological mechanism that contributes to the spotlight effect is the illusion of transparency. This phenomenon occurs when we mistakenly believe that our internal thoughts and emotions are more apparent to others than they actually are. We may think that our nervousness, insecurities, or self-consciousness are glaringly obvious to those around us, when in reality, they are often imperceptible. Social comparison and evaluation. The spotlight effect is also influenced by our tendency to engage in social comparison and evaluation. We constantly compare ourselves to others, assessing how we measure up in terms of appearance, abilities, and social status. This comparison mindset intensifies the belief that others are scrutinizing us, as we assume they are making similar evaluations and judgments about us. Cognitive biases. Cognitive biases play a significant role in perpetuating the spotlight effect. One such bias is the negativity bias, which leads us to focus more on negative feedback or perceived flaws, amplifying our self-consciousness. Additionally, the confirmation bias causes us to selectively attend to information that confirms our beliefs about being in the spotlight, further reinforcing our self-perception. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The psychology behind the spotlight effect is also influenced by the self-fulfilling prophecy. When we believe that others are closely observing and evaluating us, we may alter our behavior to conform to perceived expectations. This can lead to a cycle of self-consciousness and anxiety, as our behavior becomes more self-conscious, reinforcing the belief that we are indeed in the spotlight. Emotional amplification. Emotions play a significant role in the spotlight effect. When we experience heightened emotions such as embarrassment, shame, or anxiety, we tend to believe that these emotions are more visible to others than they actually are. This emotional amplification further intensifies our self-consciousness and reinforces the belief that we are constantly under scrutiny. Self-objectification. The spotlight effect can also be attributed to self-objectification, where we view ourselves as objects to be evaluated by others. This objectifying perspective leads us to focus on our physical appearance and how we are perceived by others, rather than valuing our internal qualities and experiences. This self-objectification fuels the belief that others are constantly judging us based on our external attributes. Understanding the psychology behind the spotlight effect is crucial in unraveling its grip on our self-perception. By recognizing the various factors that contribute to this phenomenon, we can begin to challenge and overcome its influence. In the following sections, we will explore the impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception and learn strategies to navigate social interactions with confidence and authenticity. The impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception. The spotlight effect, as we have discussed in the previous sections, refers to the tendency for individuals to believe that they are being noticed and evaluated by others more than they actually are. This cognitive bias can have a profound impact on our self-perception and how we navigate social situations. The self-focused perspective. When we are under the influence of the spotlight effect, we tend to adopt a self-focused perspective. We become hyper-aware of our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, constantly monitoring ourselves for any signs of judgment or scrutiny from others. This self-consciousness can lead to a distorted perception of how we are perceived by others, often causing us to overestimate the extent to which they are paying attention to us. Negative self-evaluation. One of the most significant impacts of the spotlight effect on self-perception is the tendency for individuals to engage in negative self-evaluation. When we believe that others are constantly watching and judging us, we become more critical of ourselves. We may focus on our perceived flaws, mistakes, or shortcomings, leading to feelings of self-doubt, insecurity, and low self-esteem. Impaired performance. The spotlight effect can also have a detrimental effect on our performance in social situations. When we are overly self-conscious and preoccupied with how we are being perceived, our attention becomes divided. This divided attention can impair our ability to fully engage in the present moment and can hinder our performance in tasks such as public speaking, performing on stage, or even engaging in casual conversations. Avoidance and social withdrawal. As a result of the negative self-perception caused by the spotlight effect, individuals may develop a tendency to avoid social situations altogether. The fear of being judged or embarrassed can lead to social withdrawal, isolation, and a limited social life. This avoidance can further reinforce negative self-perceptions and perpetuate a cycle of anxiety and self-consciousness. Impact on relationships. The impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception extends beyond individual experiences. It can also affect our relationships with others. When we are constantly worried about how we are being perceived, we may struggle to be authentic and genuine in our interactions. We may become overly self-conscious, guarded, or defensive, which can hinder the development of deep and meaningful connections with others. Distorted feedback processing. Another consequence of the spotlight effect on self-perception is the tendency to distort feedback from others. When we believe that we are constantly under scrutiny, we may interpret neutral or positive feedback as negative or judgmental. This distorted feedback processing can further reinforce negative self-perceptions and contribute to a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. Impact on mental health. The impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception can also have implications for mental health. The constant self-monitoring and negative self-evaluation can contribute to the development or exacerbation of anxiety disorders, such as social anxiety disorder. It can also contribute to feelings of depression, low self-esteem, and a diminished sense of well-being. Breaking free from the spotlight effect. While the impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception can be significant, it is important to remember that it is a cognitive bias and not an accurate reflection of reality. Recognizing and challenging the spotlight effect can help us break free from its grip and develop a healthier and more realistic self-perception. In the following chapters, we will explore strategies and techniques for overcoming the negative impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception. We will delve into the role of mindfulness, self-compassion, and cognitive restructuring in challenging negative self-perceptions. Additionally, we will discuss the importance of seeking support from trusted individuals and professionals who can provide guidance and assistance in navigating the challenges posed by the spotlight effect. By understanding the impact of the spotlight effect on self-perception and equipping ourselves with effective coping strategies, we can begin to thrive in social situations and cultivate a positive and resilient sense of self. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others. In our previous discussions, we explored the concept of the spotlight effect and how it affects our own self-perception. However, it is equally important to recognize that the spotlight effect is not limited to ourselves alone. It is a phenomenon that impacts everyone around us, shaping their thoughts, behaviors, and interactions in social situations. By understanding and recognizing the spotlight effect in others, we can develop a deeper empathy and understanding of their experiences. In this section, we will explore the various ways in which we can recognize the spotlight effect in others and how it influences their lives. The signs of the spotlight effect. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others requires a keen observation of their behavior and communication. While it may not always be explicitly stated, there are certain signs that can indicate the presence of the spotlight effect. One common sign is excessive self-consciousness, where individuals constantly worry about how they are perceived by others. They may exhibit behaviors such as avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or speaking hesitantly. These signs suggest that they are acutely aware of the attention they believe they are receiving from others. Another sign to look out for is a tendency to overanalyze and overinterpret social situations. People affected by the spotlight effect may constantly question the motives and intentions of others, assuming that every action or comment is directed towards them. This can lead to a heightened sense of self-importance and a tendency to take things personally. Empathy and understanding. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others requires a compassionate and empathetic mindset. It is important to remember that everyone experiences social situations differently, and their perception of the spotlight effect may vary. By putting ourselves in their shoes and trying to understand their perspective, we can develop a deeper sense of empathy and connection. One way to cultivate empathy is through active listening. By truly listening to others without judgment or interruption, we can gain insight into their experiences and emotions. Pay attention to their body language, tone of voice, and the words they choose. This will help us understand the impact of the spotlight effect on their self-perception and behavior. Providing support and encouragement. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others also presents an opportunity for us to provide support and encouragement. By acknowledging their feelings and validating their experiences, we can help alleviate some of the anxiety and self-consciousness they may be experiencing. Simple acts of kindness, such as offering a genuine compliment or engaging in a supportive conversation, can go a long way in boosting their confidence and self-esteem. It is important to create a safe and non-judgmental environment where individuals feel comfortable expressing themselves. Encourage open and honest communication, and be mindful of the language and tone you use. By fostering a supportive atmosphere, we can help individuals overcome the negative effects of the spotlight effect and build stronger social connections. Challenging assumptions and stereotypes. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others also involves challenging assumptions and stereotypes that may contribute to their self-consciousness. Often, individuals may believe that they are being judged or scrutinized based on their appearance, abilities, or background. By actively challenging these assumptions and promoting inclusivity, we can create a more accepting and understanding society. Encourage individuals to embrace their unique qualities and celebrate diversity. By highlighting the strengths and talents of others, we can help shift the focus away from self-consciousness and towards self-acceptance. This can be done through promoting positive self-talk, reframing negative thoughts, and encouraging individuals to engage in activities that boost their self-confidence. Cultivating a supportive community. Recognizing the spotlight effect in others is not solely an individual responsibility. It is important to foster a supportive community that values empathy, understanding, and inclusivity. By creating spaces where individuals feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment, we can collectively combat the negative effects of the spotlight effect. Encourage open dialogue and create opportunities for individuals to share their experiences and challenges. This can be done through support groups, workshops, or community events. By coming together and sharing our stories, we can create a sense of belonging and support that helps individuals navigate social situations with greater confidence and ease. In conclusion, recognizing the spotlight effect in others requires empathy, understanding, and active observation. By being attentive to the signs, providing support and encouragement, challenging assumptions, and cultivating a supportive community, we can create a more inclusive and compassionate society. By recognizing the spotlight effect in others, we not only enhance our own understanding but also contribute to the well-being and self-esteem of those around us. Chapter 2: The Illusion of Attention. The illusion of being constantly watched. Have you ever felt like you were constantly being watched, even when you were alone? The feeling that all eyes are on you, scrutinizing your every move, can be overwhelming and anxiety-inducing. This phenomenon is known as the illusion of being constantly watched, and it is closely related to the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect and the illusion of being constantly watched. The spotlight effect refers to our tendency to believe that others are paying more attention to us than they actually are. We have a natural inclination to overestimate the extent to which our actions, appearance, and behavior are noticed by others. This cognitive bias can lead to self-consciousness and a heightened sense of being constantly watched. When we experience the illusion of being constantly watched, we become hyper-aware of our every action and become preoccupied with how others perceive us. This can manifest in various ways, such as feeling anxious in social situations, constantly adjusting our behavior to fit in, or even avoiding certain situations altogether. The role of social comparison. One of the factors that contribute to the illusion of being constantly watched is social comparison. We tend to compare ourselves to others, especially in social settings, and this comparison can intensify our self-consciousness. We may worry about how we measure up to others, whether it's in terms of appearance, achievements, or social status. For example, imagine attending a party where everyone seems to be effortlessly engaging in conversations and having a great time. You might start to feel self-conscious about your own social skills and worry that others are judging you for not being as outgoing or charismatic. This constant comparison can amplify the feeling of being watched and evaluated by others. The influence of anxiety. Anxiety plays a significant role in perpetuating the illusion of being constantly watched. When we are anxious, our attention becomes focused inward, and we become hypersensitive to any potential signs of judgment or criticism from others. This heightened state of vigilance can make us believe that every move we make is being closely observed and evaluated. Anxiety can also lead to a negative bias in our perception of social situations. We may interpret neutral or ambiguous cues as negative, assuming that others are judging us harshly. This negative bias further reinforces the illusion of being constantly watched, as we interpret even minor cues as evidence of scrutiny. Breaking free from the illusion. Recognizing and challenging the illusion of being constantly watched is essential for overcoming self-consciousness and reducing anxiety in social situations. Here are some strategies to help break free from this illusion. Mindfulness. Practice being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness can help you become aware of the automatic thoughts and assumptions that contribute to the illusion of being constantly watched. Cognitive restructuring. Challenge negative thoughts and beliefs about being watched by questioning their validity. Ask yourself if there is any concrete evidence to support the belief that others are constantly observing and judging you. Graded exposure. Gradually expose yourself to social situations that trigger the illusion of being watched. Start with less intimidating situations and gradually work your way up, allowing yourself to become more comfortable and confident over time. Seek support. Reach out to friends, family, or a therapist who can provide guidance and support. Talking about your fears and anxieties can help you gain perspective and develop coping strategies. Self-compassion. Practice self-compassion by being kind and understanding towards yourself. Remember that everyone has insecurities and that you are not alone in feeling self-conscious. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a friend. By challenging the illusion of being constantly watched and developing strategies to manage self-consciousness, you can regain a sense of control and confidence in social situations. Remember, most people are too preoccupied with their own concerns to pay as much attention to you as you might think. Embrace your uniqueness and shine in your own way, free from the burden of constant scrutiny. Selective attention and the spotlight effect. Selective attention plays a significant role in the spotlight effect, shaping our perceptions and influencing how we navigate social situations. In this section, we will explore the relationship between selective attention and the spotlight effect, shedding light on how our focus can both enhance and obscure our experiences. The power of selective attention. Selective attention refers to our ability to focus on specific stimuli while filtering out irrelevant information. It is a fundamental cognitive process that allows us to direct our mental resources towards what we deem important or relevant in a given situation. Our attention is limited, and therefore, we must choose where to allocate it. In social situations, selective attention can be particularly influential. When we believe that others are closely observing us, we tend to focus our attention on ourselves, monitoring our behavior, appearance, and performance. This heightened self-awareness can lead to self-consciousness and an exaggerated perception of being under the spotlight. The spotlight effect and perceptual biases. Selective attention can contribute to the spotlight effect by amplifying our self-perceived flaws and insecurities. When we believe that others are scrutinizing us, we become hyper-focused on our perceived imperfections, often magnifying them in our minds. This perceptual bias can distort our self-perception and lead to feelings of embarrassment, anxiety, and self-doubt. For example, imagine attending a social gathering where you accidentally spill a drink on your shirt. In the spotlight effect, you might believe that everyone noticed and is judging you harshly. This belief can intensify your self-consciousness, making you feel as though the incident is more significant than it actually is. In reality, others may not have even noticed or may have quickly forgotten about it. The role of confirmation bias. Confirmation bias, a cognitive bias that influences our perception and interpretation of information, can also contribute to the spotlight effect. When we believe that others are paying close attention to us, we tend to seek out evidence that confirms our self-conscious beliefs. We may interpret neutral or ambiguous cues as negative evaluations, reinforcing our perception of being under scrutiny. For instance, if you are giving a presentation and notice someone in the audience looking away or checking their phone, confirmation bias may lead you to interpret their behavior as disinterest or judgment. However, it is essential to recognize that there could be various reasons for their actions unrelated to your performance. By acknowledging the influence of confirmation bias, we can challenge our assumptions and adopt a more balanced perspective. Attentional biases and social comparisons. Selective attention can also influence the way we engage in social comparisons, which can further fuel the spotlight effect. Social comparisons involve evaluating ourselves in relation to others, often leading to feelings of inferiority or superiority. When we believe that others are closely observing us, we may selectively attend to individuals who we perceive as more successful, attractive, or confident, intensifying our self-consciousness and self-doubt. For example, imagine attending a networking event where you encounter individuals who appear more accomplished or charismatic. In the spotlight effect, you might focus your attention on these individuals, comparing yourself unfavorably and feeling inadequate. However, it is crucial to remember that social comparisons are subjective and often based on incomplete information. By redirecting our attention to our own strengths and accomplishments, we can mitigate the negative impact of social comparisons. Strategies for managing selective attention and the spotlight effect. While selective attention can contribute to the spotlight effect, there are strategies we can employ to manage its influence and navigate social situations more confidently. Mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness can help us become aware of our attentional biases and bring our focus to the present moment. By cultivating non-judgmental awareness, we can reduce self-consciousness and redirect our attention to the task at hand. Cognitive restructuring, challenging negative thoughts and beliefs associated with the spotlight effect can help us develop a more balanced and realistic perspective. By questioning our assumptions and considering alternative explanations, we can counteract the distortions caused by selective attention. Reframing social comparisons. Instead of engaging in negative social comparisons, we can reframe them as opportunities for inspiration and growth. By focusing on our own progress and unique qualities, we can cultivate self-compassion and build a more positive self-image. Expanding attention. By consciously expanding our attention beyond ourselves, we can shift the focus from our perceived flaws to the broader social context. Engaging in active listening. showing genuine interest in others, and empathizing with their experiences can help us break free from the self-centeredness of the spotlight effect. Remember, selective attention is a powerful cognitive process that can shape our experiences in social situations. By understanding its influence and implementing strategies to manage it, we can navigate social interactions with greater confidence and authenticity. The role of perception in the spotlight effect. Perception plays a crucial role in the spotlight effect, shaping how we interpret and respond to social situations. Our perception is the lens through which we view the world, and it heavily influences our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. In this section, we will explore how perception contributes to the spotlight effect and how understanding this relationship can help us navigate social interactions more effectively. The subjective nature of perception. Perception is a subjective process that involves interpreting sensory information and making sense of the world around us. It is influenced by various factors, including our past experiences, beliefs, values, and cultural background. When it comes to the spotlight effect, our perception of how others perceive us can significantly impact our self-consciousness and social anxiety. For example, imagine attending a social gathering where you feel self-conscious about your appearance. Your perception of how others perceive your physical appearance may lead you to believe that everyone is scrutinizing your flaws and imperfections. This perception can intensify your self-consciousness and contribute to the spotlight effect, making you feel like you are constantly under the spotlight. Cognitive biases and perception. Our perception is also influenced by cognitive biases, which are systematic errors in thinking that can distort our judgment and decision-making. These biases can contribute to the spotlight effect by causing us to overestimate the extent to which others are paying attention to us. One common cognitive bias that plays a role in the spotlight effect is the spotlight fallacy. This bias leads us to believe that we are the center of attention and that others are more focused on us than they actually are. This bias can be particularly strong when we are feeling self-conscious or anxious, leading us to believe that our every move is being scrutinized by others. Another cognitive bias that can contribute to the spotlight effect is the negativity bias. This bias causes us to pay more attention to negative information and experiences, leading us to believe that others are more likely to notice and remember our mistakes or shortcomings. This bias can amplify our self-consciousness and make us feel like we are constantly under the spotlight for our perceived flaws. Perceptual filters and interpretation. Our perception is also influenced by perceptual filters, which are mental frameworks that shape how we interpret and make sense of the information we receive. These filters are shaped by our beliefs, values, and past experiences, and they can significantly impact how we perceive ourselves and others in social situations. For example, if we have a negative self-image, our perceptual filters may lead us to interpret neutral or positive feedback from others as insincere or disingenuous. This can contribute to the spotlight effect by reinforcing our negative self-perception and making us believe that others are only pretending to like or accept us. On the other hand, if we have a positive self-image, our perceptual filters may lead us to interpret neutral or negative feedback as constructive criticism or a temporary setback. This can help mitigate the spotlight effect by allowing us to view social interactions more objectively and not take every perceived judgment or criticism to heart. Shifting perception and challenging assumptions. Understanding the role of perception in the spotlight effect can empower us to challenge our assumptions and shift our perspective in social situations. By recognizing that our perception is subjective and influenced by cognitive biases and perceptual filters, we can begin to question the accuracy of our self-conscious thoughts and beliefs. One effective strategy for shifting perception is cognitive restructuring. This involves identifying and challenging negative or distorted thoughts related to the spotlight effect and replacing them with more realistic and balanced thoughts. For example, instead of assuming that everyone is judging your every move, you can remind yourself that people are generally more focused on themselves and may not be paying as much attention to you as you think. Another helpful approach is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our self-conscious thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them, allowing us to maintain a more balanced and objective perspective in social situations. In conclusion, perception plays a significant role in the spotlight effect, shaping how we interpret and respond to social situations. Our subjective perception, influenced by cognitive biases and perceptual filters, can intensify self-consciousness and contribute to the belief that we are constantly under the spotlight. However, by understanding the role of perception and employing strategies such as cognitive restructuring and mindfulness, we can challenge our assumptions and shift our perspective, ultimately navigating social interactions with greater confidence and ease. Cognitive biases and the spotlight effect. Cognitive biases play a significant role in shaping our perception of the world around us, including how we perceive the spotlight effect in social situations. These biases can distort our thinking and lead us to overestimate the extent to which others are paying attention to us. In this section, we will explore some common cognitive biases that contribute to the spotlight effect and discuss how they impact our self-perception and social interactions. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out and interpret information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or expectations. When it comes to the spotlight effect, confirmation bias can lead us to selectively focus on instances where we believe others are paying attention to us, while disregarding or downplaying evidence to the contrary. For example, imagine you are giving a presentation to a group of colleagues. You stumble over a few words, and immediately, you start to believe that everyone noticed and is judging you. This belief is reinforced by confirmation bias, as you selectively remember the moments when people seem to react to your mistakes, while ignoring the instances when they were engaged in their own thoughts or distracted by other things. Availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that relies on immediate examples that come to mind when evaluating a specific topic or situation. In the context of the spotlight effect, the availability heuristic can lead us to overestimate the frequency or intensity of attention directed towards us based on vivid or memorable instances. For instance, if you had an embarrassing moment during a social gathering, that memory might become easily accessible in your mind. As a result, you may assume that similar situations will always result in the same level of attention and judgment from others. This cognitive bias can perpetuate the spotlight effect by making us believe that we are constantly under scrutiny, even when evidence suggests otherwise. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias refers to the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information encountered when making decisions or judgments. In the context of the spotlight effect, anchoring bias can influence how we interpret and evaluate the attention we receive from others. For example, if you receive a compliment from someone, you may anchor your perception of how others view you based on that positive feedback. As a result, you may become more attuned to any potential signs of disapproval or criticism, even if they are minimal or non-existent. This bias can amplify the spotlight effect by distorting our perception of the attention we receive and reinforcing negative self-perceptions. Self-serving bias. The self-serving bias is the tendency to attribute positive outcomes to our own abilities and efforts, while attributing negative outcomes to external factors. In the context of the spotlight effect, the self-serving bias can lead us to believe that any attention we receive is solely a result of our own shortcomings or flaws. For instance, if you receive praise for a successful project at work, you may attribute it to luck or downplay your own contributions. On the other hand, if you receive criticism, you may attribute it to personal inadequacies. This bias can perpetuate the spotlight effect by reinforcing negative self-perceptions and undermining our ability to accurately assess the attention we receive from others. Overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias refers to the tendency to overestimate our own abilities and the accuracy of our judgments. In the context of the spotlight effect, overconfidence bias can lead us to believe that others are paying more attention to us than they actually are. For example, if you are preparing for a job interview, you may overestimate the extent to which the interview will scrutinize your every word and action. This overconfidence can contribute to feelings of self-consciousness and anxiety, further fueling the spotlight effect. Recognizing and challenging this bias can help us gain a more realistic perspective on how others perceive us in social situations. By understanding these cognitive biases and their influence on the spotlight effect, we can begin to challenge and reshape our perceptions. It is important to remember that our self-perception is not always an accurate reflection of reality. By questioning our assumptions and being mindful of these biases, we can navigate social situations with greater confidence and ease. In the next chapter, we will explore the relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect and discuss strategies for managing and overcoming these challenges. Chapter 3: Social Anxiety and Self-Consciousness. Understanding social anxiety. Social anxiety is a common psychological condition that affects many individuals in social situations. It is characterized by intense fear and discomfort in social interactions, often leading to avoidance of such situations. Understanding social anxiety is crucial in comprehending the impact it has on individuals and how it relates to the spotlight effect. The nature of social anxiety. Social anxiety is more than just feeling shy or nervous in social situations. It is a persistent and overwhelming fear of being judged, embarrassed, or humiliated by others. People with social anxiety often have a heightened self-consciousness and a strong desire to avoid situations where they may be the center of attention. The link to the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect and social anxiety are closely intertwined. Individuals with social anxiety tend to believe that others are constantly scrutinizing their every move, amplifying the spotlight effect in their minds. They may feel as though they are under a magnifying glass, with every flaw and mistake being noticed by others. This distorted perception of being constantly watched and judged contributes to the anxiety experienced in social situations. The fear of negative evaluation fuels the spotlight effect, making individuals with social anxiety hyper-aware of their every action and appearance. The vicious cycle. The relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect can create a vicious cycle. The fear of being judged and the belief that others are constantly watching can lead to avoidance of social situations altogether. This avoidance, however, only reinforces the anxiety and prevents individuals from challenging their negative beliefs. As the cycle continues, social anxiety can become increasingly debilitating, limiting individuals' ability to engage in meaningful social interactions and hindering their personal and professional growth. The impact on self-perception. Social anxiety and the spotlight effect can have a profound impact on an individual's self-perception. Constantly feeling judged and scrutinized can lead to negative self-perceptions, low self-esteem, and a distorted self-image. Individuals may develop a belief that they are inherently flawed or unworthy of positive attention. These negative self-perceptions can further perpetuate social anxiety, as individuals may avoid situations that challenge their negative beliefs or expose them to potential judgment. The role of cognitive biases. Cognitive biases play a significant role in the development and maintenance of social anxiety. Individuals with social anxiety tend to engage in negative self-evaluation and overestimate the likelihood of negative outcomes in social situations. This cognitive bias, known as the negativity bias, reinforces the spotlight effect and perpetuates the cycle of anxiety. Additionally, individuals with social anxiety may engage in selective attention, focusing only on negative social cues or perceived judgment from others. This attentional bias further reinforces the belief that they are constantly being watched and evaluated. Seeking support and treatment. Understanding social anxiety and its relationship to the spotlight effect is the first step towards seeking support and treatment. It is essential for individuals experiencing social anxiety to recognize that their fears and anxieties are not based on reality but are a result of distorted perceptions. Therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can be highly effective in treating social anxiety. CBT helps individuals challenge their negative beliefs, develop coping strategies, and gradually expose themselves to feared social situations. Medication, such as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, may also be prescribed in severe cases. Conclusion: understanding social anxiety is crucial in comprehending the impact it has on individuals and how it relates to the spotlight effect. Social anxiety can create a vicious cycle of fear and avoidance, leading to negative self-perceptions and limited social interactions. Recognizing the distorted perceptions and seeking appropriate support and treatment can help individuals break free from the grip of social anxiety and thrive in social situations. The relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect. Social anxiety is a common experience that many individuals face in social situations. It is characterized by feelings of fear, self-consciousness, and a heightened sense of scrutiny from others. The spotlight effect, on the other hand, refers to the tendency to believe that others are paying more attention to us than they actually are. In this section, we will explore the relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect and how they can influence each other. The amplification of self-consciousness. Social anxiety and the spotlight effect often go hand in hand, as they both involve a heightened self-consciousness in social situations. When individuals experience social anxiety, they become hyper-aware of their own behavior, appearance, and perceived flaws. This self-consciousness can lead to a distorted perception of how others perceive them, amplifying the spotlight effect. For example, imagine a person with social anxiety attending a party. They may feel as though everyone is watching their every move, judging their every word, and noticing every mistake they make. This heightened self-consciousness can intensify the spotlight effect, making them believe that they are constantly under scrutiny. The vicious cycle. The relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect can create a vicious cycle. Social anxiety can lead to an increased belief in the spotlight effect, causing individuals to feel even more self-conscious and anxious in social situations. This heightened anxiety, in turn, reinforces the belief that others are paying close attention to them, perpetuating the cycle. As the cycle continues, individuals may start to avoid social situations altogether, fearing the judgment and scrutiny they believe they will face. This avoidance can further reinforce social anxiety and the spotlight effect as individuals miss out on opportunities for positive social interactions and experiences that could challenge their negative beliefs. Cognitive biases and negative self-perceptions. Cognitive biases play a significant role in the relationship between social anxiety and the spotlight effect. Individuals with social anxiety tend to have a negative bias, perceiving themselves and their actions in a more negative light than others do. This bias can lead to an overestimation of the spotlight effect, as individuals believe that others are noticing and judging their perceived flaws and shortcomings. Moreover, individuals with social anxiety often engage in self-focused attention, constantly monitoring their own behavior and appearance. This self-focused attention can further reinforce the belief in the spotlight effect as individuals become more attuned to any perceived signs of judgment or scrutiny from others. Breaking the cycle, coping strategies. Breaking the cycle of social anxiety and the spotlight effect requires a combination of self-reflection, cognitive restructuring, and behavioral strategies. Here are some coping strategies that can help individuals manage social anxiety and challenge the spotlight effect. Cognitive restructuring: recognize and challenge negative thoughts and beliefs about oneself and others' perceptions. Replace negative self-talk with more realistic and positive statements. Exposure therapy: gradually expose oneself to feared social situations, starting with less challenging situations and gradually progressing to more anxiety-provoking ones. This can help desensitize individuals to their fears and reduce the belief in the spotlight effect. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques: practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques to reduce anxiety and increase present moment awareness. This can help individuals shift their focus away from self-consciousness and the spotlight effect. Social skills training: learn and practice effective communication and social skills to feel more confident and comfortable in social interactions. This can help individuals build positive relationships and challenge negative beliefs about the spotlight effect. Seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals for support and guidance. They can provide a safe space to discuss fears and concerns, offer perspective, and provide strategies for managing social anxiety and the spotlight effect. By implementing these coping strategies, individuals can gradually reduce social anxiety, challenge the spotlight effect, and develop a more positive and realistic perception of themselves in social situations. In the next section, we will explore the concept of self-consciousness and its relationship with the spotlight effect. We will delve into how self-consciousness can influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in social situations, and discuss strategies for managing and overcoming self-consciousness. Self-consciousness and the spotlight effect. Self-consciousness is a common experience that many individuals face in social situations. It is the heightened awareness of oneself, often accompanied by a fear of being judged or evaluated by others. In the context of the spotlight effect, self-consciousness plays a significant role in how we perceive ourselves and how we believe others perceive us. The link between self-consciousness and the spotlight effect. Self-consciousness and the spotlight effect are closely intertwined. When we are self-conscious, we tend to believe that others are paying more attention to us than they actually are. This exaggerated perception can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and a constant need for validation. The spotlight effect amplifies our self-consciousness by making us believe that we are constantly under scrutiny. We become hyper-aware of our every move, our appearance, and our behavior, fearing that any perceived flaw will be noticed and judged by others. This self-consciousness can be paralyzing, preventing us from fully engaging in social interactions and hindering our ability to express ourselves authentically. The impact of self-consciousness on social interactions. Self-consciousness can have a profound impact on our social interactions. It can make us hesitant to speak up, contribute to conversations, or share our opinions. We may constantly second-guess ourselves, fearing that our words or actions will be met with criticism or rejection. This self-imposed pressure can lead to a cycle of avoidance, where we withdraw from social situations to protect ourselves from potential embarrassment or judgment. Furthermore, self-consciousness can hinder our ability to form meaningful connections with others. When we are overly focused on how we are perceived, we may struggle to truly listen and engage with those around us. Instead of being present in the moment, we are preoccupied with our own insecurities, making it difficult to establish genuine connections and build relationships. Breaking free from self-consciousness. Overcoming self-consciousness is a journey that requires self-reflection, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge our negative self-perceptions. Here are some strategies to help break free from self-consciousness and navigate social situations with greater ease. 1. Practice self-acceptance and self-compassion. Recognize that everyone has insecurities and that it is okay to be imperfect. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend. Embrace your strengths and acknowledge that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. 2. Challenge negative self-talk. Become aware of the negative thoughts and beliefs that contribute to your self-consciousness. Question their validity and replace them with more positive and realistic affirmations. Remind yourself of your accomplishments, strengths, and unique qualities. 3. Focus on the present moment. Shift your attention away from self-judgment and focus on the present moment. Engage actively in conversations, listen attentively to others, and practice mindfulness to cultivate a sense of presence and connection. 4. Gradual exposure to social situations. Start by gradually exposing yourself to social situations that make you feel self-conscious. Begin with smaller, less intimidating settings and gradually work your way up. Each positive experience will help build your confidence and reduce self-consciousness over time. 5. Seek support from trusted individuals. Reach out to supportive friends, family members, or professionals who can provide guidance and encouragement. Sharing your feelings and experiences with others can help alleviate the burden of self-consciousness and provide valuable perspective. 6. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that promote self-care and well-being. Take time to nurture yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Engaging in hobbies, exercise, and relaxation techniques can help reduce stress and boost self-confidence. Remember, overcoming self-consciousness is a gradual process that requires patience and self-compassion. By challenging negative self-perceptions, focusing on the present moment, and seeking support, you can break free from the constraints of self-consciousness and navigate social interactions with greater ease and authenticity. Coping strategies for social anxiety and self-consciousness. Social anxiety and self-consciousness can be challenging to navigate, but there are coping strategies that can help individuals overcome these obstacles and thrive in social situations. In this section, we will explore some practical techniques and approaches that can empower individuals to manage their social anxiety and self-consciousness effectively. Challenge negative thoughts and beliefs. One of the first steps in coping with social anxiety and self-consciousness is to challenge negative thoughts and beliefs that contribute to these feelings. Often, individuals with social anxiety tend to have distorted perceptions of themselves and how others perceive them. They may believe that they are constantly being judged or that they are not good enough. To counter these negative thoughts, it is essential to question their validity. Ask yourself if there is any evidence to support these beliefs or if they are simply assumptions. Engage in positive self-talk and remind yourself of your strengths and accomplishments. Practice self-compassion and remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and has moments of self-doubt. Gradual exposure and desensitization. Gradual exposure and desensitization are effective techniques for reducing social anxiety and self-consciousness. By gradually exposing yourself to social situations that make you anxious, you can build up your tolerance and confidence over time. Start by identifying situations that make you feel uncomfortable but are still manageable. For example, if public speaking is a source of anxiety, begin by speaking in front of a small group of trusted friends or family members. As you become more comfortable, gradually increase the size of the audience or the level of exposure. Remember to celebrate small victories along the way and acknowledge your progress. It is normal to feel anxious initially, but with practice and repetition, you will become more at ease in social situations. Relaxation techniques. Practicing relaxation techniques can help reduce anxiety and promote a sense of calmness in social situations. Deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness meditation are all effective techniques that can be incorporated into your daily routine. When you feel anxious or self-conscious, take a moment to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple technique can help regulate your breathing and activate the body's relaxation response. Progressive muscle relaxation involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in your body. Start with your toes and work your way up to your head, consciously relaxing each muscle group as you go. This technique can help release tension and promote a sense of physical and mental relaxation. Mindfulness meditation involves bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you can learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This can be particularly helpful in managing social anxiety and self-consciousness by allowing you to stay grounded and focused in the present moment. Seek support and professional help. If social anxiety and self-consciousness are significantly impacting your daily life and well-being, it may be beneficial to seek support from a mental health professional. Therapists can provide guidance, support, and evidence-based interventions to help you manage and overcome these challenges. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a commonly used approach for treating social anxiety. CBT helps individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns and develop more adaptive coping strategies. Through therapy, you can gain a deeper understanding of the underlying causes of your social anxiety and learn practical techniques to manage it effectively. Support groups can also be a valuable resource for individuals struggling with social anxiety and self-consciousness. Connecting with others who share similar experiences can provide a sense of validation, support, and encouragement. Hearing other stories and learning from their coping strategies can be empowering and help you realize that you are not alone in your struggles. Practice self-care and well-being. Taking care of your physical and emotional well-being is crucial in managing social anxiety and self-consciousness. Engage in activities that bring you joy and help you relax. Exercise regularly, eat a balanced diet, and get enough sleep. Prioritize self-care activities such as reading, listening to music, spending time in nature, or practicing hobbies that you enjoy. Additionally, it is essential to set realistic expectations for yourself and avoid putting unnecessary pressure on yourself to be perfect. Remember that everyone has flaws and makes mistakes. Embrace your imperfections and focus on your strengths and positive qualities. By practicing self-care and prioritizing your well-being, you can build resilience and develop a positive mindset that will help you navigate social situations with greater confidence and ease. Conclusion. Coping with social anxiety and self-consciousness requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge negative thoughts and beliefs. By implementing coping strategies such as challenging negative thoughts, gradual exposure, relaxation techniques, seeking support, and practicing self-care, individuals can effectively manage their social anxiety and self-consciousness. Remember that overcoming these challenges takes time and effort, but with persistence and the right support, you can thrive in social situations and embrace the spotlight with confidence. Chapter 4: Cultural and Gender Influences. Cultural variations in the spotlight effect. Culture plays a significant role in shaping our beliefs, values, and behaviors. It influences how we perceive ourselves and others, and it also affects the way we experience the spotlight effect. Cultural variations can impact the intensity and manifestation of the spotlight effect, highlighting the importance of understanding these differences in social situations. Cultural norms and expectations. Cultural norms and expectations vary across different societies and communities. These norms dictate how individuals should behave, dress, and interact with others. In some cultures, there may be a greater emphasis on conformity and fitting in, which can intensify the spotlight effect. Individuals may feel a heightened sense of self-consciousness and fear judgment or scrutiny from others. For example, in collectivist cultures, such as many Asian cultures, there is a strong emphasis on group harmony and avoiding standing out. This cultural value can amplify the spotlight effect, as individuals may feel immense pressure to conform and fear the negative attention that comes with deviating from societal expectations. On the other hand, individualistic cultures, like those found in Western societies, tend to place more value on individuality and self-expression. While this may alleviate some of the pressure to conform, it can also lead to a different manifestation of the spotlight effect. Individuals in individualistic cultures may still experience self-consciousness and fear judgment, but it may be more focused on their personal achievements or failures rather than conformity to societal norms. Communication styles and the spotlight effect. Communication styles also vary across cultures, which can influence the spotlight effect in social interactions. In some cultures, direct communication is valued, and individuals may feel more comfortable expressing their thoughts and opinions openly. In these cultures, the spotlight effect may be less pronounced, as individuals are accustomed to sharing their ideas without fear of excessive scrutiny. In contrast, in cultures that emphasize indirect communication, such as many East Asian cultures, individuals may be more hesitant to express themselves openly. The fear of being judged or standing out can intensify the spotlight effect, as individuals may constantly worry about how their words and actions are perceived by others. Cultural attitudes toward self-promotion. Cultural attitudes toward self-promotion can also influence the spotlight effect. In some cultures, modesty and humility are highly valued, and individuals may feel uncomfortable drawing attention to their achievements or talents. This can lead to a diminished spotlight effect, as individuals may downplay their accomplishments and avoid seeking recognition. In contrast, in cultures that encourage self-promotion and assertiveness, individuals may experience a heightened spotlight effect. The fear of being seen as boastful or arrogant can create anxiety and self-consciousness as individuals navigate the delicate balance between showcasing their abilities and avoiding negative attention. Cultural differences in social comparison. Social comparison, the process of evaluating oneself in relation to others, is influenced by cultural factors. In some cultures, there may be a greater emphasis on upward social comparison, where individuals compare themselves to those who are perceived as more successful or accomplished. This can intensify the spotlight effect as individuals constantly measure themselves against high standards and fear falling short. In contrast, in cultures that emphasize downward social comparison, individuals may compare themselves to those who are less fortunate or successful. This can alleviate some of the pressure associated with the spotlight effect, as individuals may feel a sense of superiority or contentment with their own achievements. Embracing cultural diversity and addressing the spotlight effect. Recognizing and understanding cultural variations in the spotlight effect is crucial for fostering empathy and creating inclusive social environments. By acknowledging that different cultures may experience and express the spotlight effect differently, we can avoid making assumptions or judgments based on our own cultural lens. It is important to create spaces where individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds feel comfortable and supported. This can be achieved by promoting open and respectful communication, encouraging individuals to share their perspectives and experiences, and challenging cultural stereotypes and biases. By embracing cultural diversity and addressing the spotlight effect within a cultural context, we can create a more inclusive and understanding society where individuals feel empowered to shine without fear of excessive scrutiny or judgment. Gender differences in the spotlight effect. Gender plays a significant role in shaping our experiences and perceptions in social situations. In the context of the spotlight effect, gender differences can influence how individuals perceive and respond to the perceived scrutiny of others. Understanding these differences can help us navigate social interactions with greater empathy and awareness. The influence of gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes, deeply ingrained in society, can impact how individuals perceive the spotlight effect. These stereotypes often dictate societal expectations and norms regarding behavior, appearance, and performance. For example, women may feel more pressure to conform to societal beauty standards, leading to heightened self-consciousness and a greater sensitivity to the spotlight effect. On the other hand, men may experience pressure to appear confident and in control, which can also contribute to their perception of being under the spotlight. Socialization and communication styles. Gender differences in socialization and communication styles can also influence the spotlight effect. From a young age, boys and girls are often socialized differently, leading to distinct patterns of behavior and self-perception. Girls are often encouraged to be more nurturing, empathetic, and cooperative, while boys are encouraged to be assertive, competitive, and independent. These differences in socialization can shape how individuals perceive and respond to the spotlight effect. In terms of communication styles, research suggests that women tend to be more expressive and emotionally oriented, while men may be more focused on task-oriented communication. These differences can impact how individuals interpret and respond to social situations, including the spotlight effect. Women may be more attuned to nonverbal cues and subtle social dynamics, leading to a heightened awareness of being observed. Men, on the other hand, may be more focused on achieving specific goals or objectives, which can influence their perception of the spotlight effect. Coping strategies and resilience. Gender differences can also manifest in coping strategies and resilience when dealing with the spotlight effect. Research suggests that women may be more likely to seek social support and engage in emotion-focused coping strategies, such as talking to friends or family about their experiences. Men, on the other hand, may be more inclined to engage in problem-focused coping strategies, such as seeking solutions or taking action to address the situation. These differences in coping strategies can be influenced by societal expectations and gender norms. Women may feel more comfortable seeking support and expressing their emotions, while men may feel pressure to appear strong and self-reliant. However, it is important to note that these are generalizations, and individuals may vary in their coping strategies and resilience regardless of gender. Challenging gender stereotypes and promoting equality. To address gender differences in the spotlight effect, it is crucial to challenge gender stereotypes and promote equality. By challenging societal expectations and norms, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment for individuals of all genders. This includes promoting equal opportunities, encouraging open and honest communication, and fostering empathy and understanding. Furthermore, it is essential to recognize and validate the experiences of individuals who may be disproportionately affected by the spotlight effect due to their gender. By acknowledging and addressing these differences, we can work towards creating a more equitable society where everyone feels valued and empowered. In conclusion, gender differences can significantly influence the spotlight effect and how individuals perceive and respond to social situations. Understanding these differences allows us to navigate social interactions with greater empathy and awareness. By challenging gender stereotypes and promoting equality, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment for individuals of all genders. Societal expectations and the spotlight effect. Societal expectations play a significant role in shaping our behavior and self-perception. These expectations can have a profound impact on how we experience the spotlight effect in social situations. In this section, we will explore how societal expectations influence the spotlight effect and discuss strategies for navigating these pressures. The pressure to conform. Society often imposes certain norms and standards that dictate how we should behave, look, and present ourselves. These expectations can create a tremendous amount of pressure to conform, leading to heightened self-consciousness and an increased sensitivity to the spotlight effect. For example, in some cultures, there may be an emphasis on modesty and humility, which can make individuals more aware of how they are perceived by others. This heightened awareness can intensify the spotlight effect, as individuals may constantly worry about living up to societal expectations and avoiding any potential judgment or criticism. Gender roles and expectations. Gender roles and expectations also play a significant role in the spotlight effect. Society often imposes different standards and expectations on individuals based on their gender, which can lead to distinct experiences of the spotlight effect. For instance, women may face societal pressure to conform to certain beauty standards, leading to heightened self-consciousness about their appearance. This can result in a heightened awareness of being watched and judged, contributing to the spotlight effect. Similarly, men may feel pressure to display confidence and assertiveness, which can also increase self-consciousness in social situations. Cultural variations in the spotlight effect. Cultural variations can significantly influence the experience of the spotlight effect. Different cultures have varying norms and expectations regarding social interactions, self-presentation, and individualism, which can shape how individuals perceive and respond to the spotlight effect. In collectivist cultures, where the emphasis is on the group rather than the individual, individuals may be more attuned to how their actions and behaviors reflect on their family or community. This heightened awareness can intensify the spotlight effect, as individuals may feel a greater sense of responsibility for their actions and fear the potential negative consequences of standing out. On the other hand, in individualistic cultures, where personal achievements and self-expression are valued, individuals may experience the spotlight effect differently. The pressure to stand out and succeed can lead to heightened self-consciousness and a constant awareness of being observed and evaluated by others. Navigating societal expectations. Navigating societal expectations and managing the spotlight effect can be challenging, but it is not impossible. Here are some strategies to help you navigate these pressures. Self-awareness. Take the time to reflect on your own values and priorities. Understand that societal expectations may not align with your authentic self, and it is okay to challenge and redefine those expectations. Surround yourself with supportive people. Build a network of individuals who accept and support you for who you are. Having a strong support system can provide a sense of validation and help counteract the negative effects of societal expectations. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself and practice self-compassion. Remember that everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges. Treat yourself with the same understanding and forgiveness you would extend to others. Set realistic goals. Instead of striving for perfection, set realistic and achievable goals for yourself. Focus on personal growth and progress rather than comparing yourself to societal standards. Challenge negative thoughts. When negative thoughts or self-doubt arise, challenge them with evidence and rational thinking. Remind yourself that the spotlight effect is often an illusion, and people are generally more focused on themselves than on judging others. Seek professional help if needed. If societal expectations and the spotlight effect are significantly impacting your well-being and daily life, consider seeking support from a mental health professional. They can provide guidance and strategies tailored to your specific needs. Remember, societal expectations are not set in stone, and it is essential to prioritize your own well-being and authenticity. By understanding and challenging the influence of societal expectations, you can navigate the spotlight effect with greater confidence and self-acceptance. Addressing cultural and gender influences. Cultural and gender influences play a significant role in shaping our experiences and perceptions of the spotlight effect. These influences can impact how we perceive ourselves and how others perceive us in social situations. In this section, we will explore the ways in which cultural and gender factors intersect with the spotlight effect and discuss strategies for addressing and navigating these influences. Cultural variations in the spotlight effect. Cultural norms and values vary across different societies, and these variations can influence how individuals experience the spotlight effect. In some cultures, there may be a greater emphasis on collectivism, where the needs and expectations of the group take precedence over individual desires. In such cultures, individuals may be more attuned to the perceptions and judgments of others, leading to a heightened spotlight effect. On the other hand, individualistic cultures may place more emphasis on personal achievements and independence. In these cultures, individuals may be more focused on their own self-presentation and may experience a stronger spotlight effect due to the pressure to stand out and succeed. It is important to recognize that cultural variations in the spotlight effect are not inherently positive or negative. They simply reflect the different social norms and expectations that exist in various societies. By understanding and acknowledging these cultural variations, we can develop a more nuanced understanding of how the spotlight effect operates in different contexts. Gender differences in the spotlight effect. Gender also plays a role in shaping our experiences of the spotlight effect. Society often imposes different expectations and standards on individuals based on their gender, which can influence how they perceive themselves and how others perceive them in social situations. For example, women may face greater scrutiny and pressure to conform to societal beauty standards, leading to a heightened spotlight effect regarding their physical appearance. On the other hand, men may experience a spotlight effect related to their achievements and status, as society often places a premium on male success and dominance. It is important to recognize that these gender differences in the spotlight effect are not fixed or universal. They are influenced by societal norms and expectations, which can vary across cultures and change over time. By understanding these gender dynamics, we can challenge and question the societal pressures that contribute to the spotlight effect and work towards creating more inclusive and equitable social environments. Challenging cultural and gender influences. Addressing cultural and gender influences in the spotlight effect requires a multifaceted approach that combines self-reflection, education, and advocacy. Here are some strategies to consider. Self-reflection. Take the time to reflect on your own cultural and gender biases and how they may impact your perceptions of the spotlight effect. Consider how societal expectations have shaped your beliefs and attitudes, and challenge any harmful or limiting beliefs that may arise. Education. Educate yourself about different cultures and gender dynamics. Read books, engage in conversations, and seek out diverse perspectives to broaden your understanding of how cultural and gender influences intersect with the spotlight effect. Empathy and understanding. Cultivate empathy and understanding towards individuals from different cultural backgrounds and genders. Recognize that their experiences of the spotlight effect may differ from your own and be open to learning from their perspectives. Advocacy. Advocate for inclusivity and equality in social environments. Challenge stereotypes and biases, and promote spaces that celebrate diversity and empower individuals to be their authentic selves. Support and solidarity. Offer support and solidarity to individuals who may be disproportionately affected by cultural and gender influences in the spotlight effect. Create safe spaces where people can share their experiences and seek support from others who can relate to their struggles. By addressing cultural and gender influences in the spotlight effect, we can work towards creating a more inclusive and supportive social environment where individuals can thrive and shine without the burden of societal expectations. Chapter 5. Navigating social interactions. Managing social expectations. Social expectations play a significant role in our daily lives. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are constantly navigating social interactions and trying to meet the expectations of others. However, when the spotlight effect comes into play, these expectations can become overwhelming and lead to feelings of self-consciousness and anxiety. In this section, we will explore strategies for managing social expectations and finding a balance between meeting the needs of others and taking care of ourselves. Setting realistic expectations. One of the first steps in managing social expectations is setting realistic expectations for ourselves. Often, we put unnecessary pressure on ourselves to meet the perceived expectations of others. However, it is important to remember that we cannot control how others perceive us or what they expect from us. Instead, we should focus on setting goals and expectations that are within our control and align with our values and capabilities. For example, if you are attending a social event, instead of worrying about impressing everyone or being the life of the party, set a realistic expectation of simply enjoying yourself and engaging in meaningful conversations. By shifting your focus from external validation to personal fulfillment, you can alleviate some of the pressure and anxiety associated with social expectations. Prioritizing self-care. Managing social expectations also involves prioritizing self-care. It is essential to recognize that our well-being should always come first. This means setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and taking time for ourselves to recharge and rejuvenate. When we prioritize self-care, we are better equipped to handle social interactions and meet the expectations of others. By taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental health, we can approach social situations with confidence and authenticity. Practicing active listening. Effective communication is a crucial aspect of managing social expectations. One way to enhance our communication skills is by practicing active listening. Active listening involves fully engaging with the person speaking, paying attention to their words, and responding thoughtfully. By actively listening, we can better understand the expectations and needs of others. This allows us to respond in a way that is genuine and aligned with our own values and capabilities. Active listening also fosters deeper connections and reduces misunderstandings, ultimately leading to more fulfilling social interactions. Embracing vulnerability. Managing social expectations requires embracing vulnerability. It is natural to feel apprehensive about being vulnerable in social situations, as it opens us up to the possibility of judgment or rejection. However, vulnerability is also the gateway to authentic connections and meaningful relationships. By embracing vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are, rather than trying to meet the expectations of others. This authenticity not only relieves the pressure of constantly trying to impress, but it also attracts people who appreciate and accept us for who we are. Practicing self-compassion. In the face of social expectations, it is crucial to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness, understanding, and acceptance, especially when we fall short of meeting our own or others' expectations. Instead of berating ourselves for perceived failures or shortcomings, we can offer ourselves the same compassion and understanding we would extend to a close friend. By practicing self-compassion, we can cultivate a sense of self-worth and resilience that allows us to navigate social interactions with greater ease and confidence. Seeking support. Managing social expectations can be challenging, and it is essential to remember that we do not have to do it alone. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals can provide valuable guidance and perspective. Talking openly about our struggles and seeking advice from others who have faced similar challenges can help us gain new insights and develop effective strategies for managing social expectations. Additionally, professional support, such as therapy or coaching, can provide specialized tools and techniques to navigate social interactions with confidence and ease. Celebrating personal growth. Finally, managing social expectations involves celebrating personal growth. It is important to acknowledge and appreciate the progress we make in navigating social interactions and meeting the expectations of others. By recognizing our achievements, no matter how small, we can build confidence and resilience in social situations. Each step forward is an opportunity for growth, and by embracing these opportunities, we can continue to thrive and find fulfillment in the spotlight. In the next section, we will explore strategies for building confidence in social situations, empowering ourselves to shine in the spotlight. Building confidence in social situations. Confidence plays a crucial role in how we navigate social interactions. When we lack confidence, we may feel self-conscious, anxious, and unsure of ourselves. However, building confidence is a skill that can be developed with practice and self-reflection. In this section, we will explore strategies and techniques to help you build confidence in social situations. Embracing self-acceptance. One of the first steps in building confidence is embracing self-acceptance. Recognize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and it is okay to have imperfections. Embrace your unique qualities and focus on your positive attributes. Remember that no one is perfect, and it is our differences that make us interesting and valuable. Setting realistic expectations. Setting realistic expectations for yourself in social situations can help alleviate anxiety and build confidence. Understand that not every interaction needs to be flawless or result in immediate connections. Instead, focus on engaging in meaningful conversations and being present in the moment. By setting realistic expectations, you can relieve the pressure to perform perfectly and allow yourself to enjoy the experience. Practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion is an essential aspect of building confidence. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend. Acknowledge that making mistakes and experiencing moments of discomfort are a natural part of social interactions. Instead of being overly critical of yourself, practice self-compassion by offering words of encouragement and understanding. Challenging negative self-talk. Negative self-talk can significantly impact our confidence levels. It is important to challenge and reframe negative thoughts that may arise in social situations. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, ask yourself if there is evidence to support those thoughts. Often, negative self-talk is based on unfounded assumptions or irrational beliefs. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations and focus on your strengths and accomplishments. Building social skills. Developing strong social skills can greatly enhance your confidence in social situations. Take the time to learn and practice effective communication techniques, such as active listening, maintaining eye contact, and using open body language. Engage in activities that allow you to interact with others, such as joining clubs or attending social events. The more you practice and refine your social skills, the more comfortable and confident you will become. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Building confidence often requires stepping out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to engage in activities or situations that may initially make you feel uncomfortable. By gradually exposing yourself to new experiences, you can expand your comfort zone and build resilience. Remember that growth and confidence come from pushing past your perceived limitations. Visualizing success. Visualization is a powerful tool for building confidence. Take a few moments each day to visualize yourself successfully navigating social situations with ease and confidence. Imagine yourself engaging in conversations, expressing your thoughts and opinions, and connecting with others. By visualizing success, you are programming your mind to believe in your abilities and increasing your confidence in real-life situations. Seeking support. Building confidence is not a journey you have to embark on alone. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist who can provide guidance and encouragement. Surround yourself with positive and supportive individuals who believe in your abilities. Sharing your fears and insecurities with trusted individuals can help alleviate anxiety and provide valuable insights and perspectives. Celebrating small victories. Building confidence is a gradual process, and it is important to celebrate small victories along the way. Recognize and acknowledge your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Each successful social interaction or step outside your comfort zone is a testament to your growth and resilience. Celebrating these victories will reinforce your confidence and motivate you to continue pushing forward. Practicing self-care. Taking care of your physical and mental well-being is essential for building confidence. Engage in activities that bring you joy and help you relax, such as exercise, meditation, or hobbies. Prioritize self-care and ensure you are getting enough rest, eating nutritious meals, and engaging in activities that nourish your soul. When you feel good physically and mentally, your confidence will naturally flourish. Building confidence in social situations is a journey that requires patience, self-reflection, and practice. By embracing self-acceptance, challenging negative self-talk, and developing social skills, you can gradually build the confidence needed to thrive in social interactions. Remember, confidence is not about being perfect, it is about embracing your authentic self and valuing your unique contributions to the world. Effective communication strategies. Effective communication is a crucial skill in navigating social interactions and managing the spotlight effect. It involves expressing oneself clearly, listening actively, and understanding the nuances of non-verbal communication. In this section, we will explore various strategies that can help individuals communicate effectively in social situations. Active listening. Active listening is a fundamental aspect of effective communication. It involves fully engaging with the speaker, paying attention to both their verbal and non-verbal cues, and demonstrating genuine interest in what they have to say. By actively listening, we can better understand the speaker's perspective, build rapport, and foster meaningful connections. To practice active listening, it is important to maintain eye contact, nod, or provide other nonverbal cues to show that you are engaged, and avoid interrupting the speaker. Additionally, paraphrasing or summarizing what the speaker has said can help ensure that you have understood their message correctly and show that you value their input. Clear and concise communication. Clear and concise communication is essential for effectively conveying our thoughts and ideas. It involves using simple and straightforward language, organizing our thoughts coherently, and being mindful of our tone and body language. When communicating, it is important to be aware of the context and adjust our language accordingly. Avoid using jargon or technical terms that may confuse the listener. Instead, strive to use language that is accessible and easily understood by others. Additionally, organizing our thoughts in a logical manner and using appropriate transitions can help ensure that our message is clear and coherent. Furthermore, being mindful of our tone and body language can significantly impact how our message is received. Maintaining a calm and respectful tone, using appropriate gestures, and maintaining an open and approachable posture can help create a positive and receptive atmosphere for communication. Empathy and understanding. Empathy and understanding are crucial components of effective communication. They involve putting ourselves in the shoes of others, acknowledging their emotions and perspectives, and responding with compassion and respect. To cultivate empathy and understanding, it is important to actively listen and validate the feelings and experiences of others. Avoid making assumptions or judgments and instead seek to understand their point of view. Reflecting back their emotions and using phrases such as "I understand how you feel" or "that must have been challenging" can help demonstrate empathy and create a safe space for open communication. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication plays a significant role in how our messages are perceived. It includes facial expressions, body language, gestures, and tone of voice. Being mindful of our nonverbal cues and understanding their impact can greatly enhance our communication skills. Maintaining eye contact, using appropriate facial expressions, and having an open and relaxed posture can convey attentiveness and interest. Additionally, using gestures and body language that align with our message can help reinforce our words and make our communication more engaging. Furthermore, being aware of our tone of voice is crucial. Speaking in a calm and confident manner can help convey our message effectively, while a harsh or aggressive tone can create barriers to communication. Conflict resolution. Conflict is a natural part of social interactions, and effective communication strategies can help navigate and resolve conflicts constructively. When faced with a conflict, it is important to approach the situation with empathy, active listening, and a willingness to find a mutually beneficial solution. To resolve conflicts effectively, it is important to express our concerns and needs clearly and assertively, while also being open to understanding the other person's perspective. Active listening and paraphrasing can help ensure that both parties feel heard and understood. Additionally, using I statements to express our feelings and avoiding blame or judgment can create a non-confrontational atmosphere for resolving conflicts. Cultural sensitivity. In today's diverse society, cultural sensitivity is essential for effective communication. It involves being aware of and respecting cultural differences, norms, and values. By being culturally sensitive, we can avoid misunderstandings, foster inclusivity, and build stronger connections with others. To practice cultural sensitivity, it is important to educate ourselves about different cultures, customs, and traditions. Avoid making assumptions or generalizations based on stereotypes and instead approach each individual with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Additionally, being respectful of personal space, using appropriate greetings, and being mindful of cultural taboos can help create a positive and inclusive environment for communication. Practice and feedback. Like any skill, effective communication requires practice and feedback. Engaging in regular communication exercises, such as role-playing or participating in group discussions, can help improve our communication skills and build confidence. Seeking feedback from trusted individuals can also provide valuable insights into our communication style and areas for improvement. By actively seeking feedback and being open to constructive criticism, we can continuously refine our communication skills and become more effective communicators. In conclusion, effective communication strategies are essential for navigating social interactions and managing the spotlight effect. By practicing active listening, clear and concise communication, empathy and understanding, and being mindful of nonverbal cues, we can enhance our communication skills and build stronger connections with others. Additionally, conflict resolution, cultural sensitivity, and regular practice can further contribute to our ability to communicate effectively in various social situations. Navigating difficult social interactions. Navigating social interactions can be challenging, especially when faced with difficult situations. Whether it's dealing with conflict, handling criticism, or managing awkward conversations, these encounters can leave us feeling anxious and self-conscious. In this section, we will explore strategies to help you navigate difficult social interactions with confidence and grace. Managing conflict. Conflict is an inevitable part of social interactions, and knowing how to manage it effectively is crucial. When faced with conflict, it's important to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. Take a moment to consider the other person's perspective and try to find common ground. Active listening is key in conflict resolution, as it allows you to truly understand the other person's concerns and feelings. It's also important to communicate assertively and express your own thoughts and feelings without aggression or defensiveness. Use I statements to express how the situation is affecting you and avoid blaming or attacking the other person. By focusing on finding a solution rather than winning the argument, you can work towards resolving the conflict in a constructive manner. Handling criticism. Receiving criticism can be difficult, but it's important to remember that it is not a reflection of your worth as a person. When faced with criticism, take a moment to pause and reflect on the feedback. Consider whether there is any truth to it and how you can use it as an opportunity for growth. Responding to criticism with defensiveness or anger will only escalate the situation. Instead, practice active listening and ask clarifying questions to gain a better understanding of the other person's perspective. Responding calmly and respectfully shows maturity and can help diffuse tension. It's also important to separate your self-worth from the criticism. Remember that everyone has flaws and makes mistakes, and receiving feedback is an opportunity to learn and improve. Surround yourself with supportive people who can provide constructive criticism and help you grow. Managing awkward conversations. Awkward conversations can make us feel uncomfortable and unsure of how to respond. In these situations, it's important to stay calm and composed. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that awkwardness is a normal part of human interaction. One strategy to navigate awkward conversations is to redirect the focus onto a neutral topic. By shifting the conversation to something more light-hearted or common, you can help alleviate tension and create a more comfortable atmosphere. Active listening is also crucial in awkward conversations. Show genuine interest in the other person's thoughts and feelings, and ask open-ended questions to encourage them to share more. By actively engaging in the conversation, you can help create a sense of connection and ease the awkwardness. If the conversation becomes too uncomfortable or unproductive, it's okay to politely excuse yourself. Remember that your well-being is important, and it's okay to prioritize your own comfort in difficult social interactions. Setting boundaries. In difficult social interactions, it's important to establish and maintain healthy boundaries. Boundaries help protect your emotional well-being and ensure that your needs are respected. Communicate your boundaries clearly and assertively, and don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Setting boundaries also involves recognizing and addressing toxic or unhealthy relationships. If a person consistently disrespects your boundaries or makes you feel uncomfortable, it may be necessary to distance yourself from that individual. Surround yourself with people who support and uplift you, and prioritize relationships that are mutually respectful and beneficial. Remember that navigating difficult social interactions takes practice and patience. It's okay to make mistakes and learn from them. By implementing these strategies and approaching difficult situations with empathy and understanding, you can navigate social interactions with confidence and maintain healthy relationships. Chapter 6: Media and Social Media Impact. The influence of media on the spotlight effect. In today's digital age, media plays a significant role in shaping our perceptions and experiences. From television shows and movies to social media platforms, we are constantly bombarded with images and narratives that can have a profound impact on how we view ourselves and others. In this chapter, we will explore the influence of media on the spotlight effect and how it can both amplify and distort our self-perception in social situations. The power of media representation. Media has the power to shape our understanding of social norms, beauty standards, and societal expectations. Through various forms of media, we are exposed to carefully curated images of individuals who seem to effortlessly navigate social interactions with confidence and grace. These portrayals can create an unrealistic standard against which we compare ourselves, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-consciousness. For example, popular television shows often depict characters who are charismatic, witty, and socially adept. These characters effortlessly command attention and seem to thrive in social situations. As viewers, we may find ourselves comparing our own social skills to those of these fictional characters, leading to a heightened sense of self-awareness and self-doubt. The perfectionism paradox. Social media platforms, in particular, have revolutionized the way we interact and present ourselves to the world. With the ability to carefully curate our online personas, we can choose to showcase only the most flattering aspects of our lives. This constant exposure to carefully crafted images and narratives can create a distorted perception of reality, fueling the spotlight effect. On social media, it is common to see individuals sharing their achievements, glamorous vacations, and picture-perfect moments. This constant stream of highlight reels can lead us to believe that everyone else is living a more exciting and fulfilling life than our own. We may feel pressured to constantly present ourselves in a positive light, fearing judgment and scrutiny from our online peers. The amplification of insecurities. The constant exposure to media, both traditional and social, can amplify our insecurities and intensify the spotlight effect. We may become hyper-aware of our perceived flaws and shortcomings, constantly comparing ourselves to the seemingly perfect individuals we see on our screens. This can lead to a heightened sense of self-consciousness and a fear of being judged or scrutinized in social situations. Moreover, media often perpetuates unrealistic beauty standards, emphasizing physical appearance as a measure of worth and success. This can further contribute to feelings of self-consciousness and a belief that we are constantly being evaluated based on our looks. The pressure to conform to these standards can be overwhelming and can significantly impact our self-esteem and confidence in social interactions. Navigating the media landscape. While media can have a powerful influence on the spotlight effect, it is important to remember that it is just one aspect of our social environment. Recognizing the potential impact of media on our self-perception is the first step towards navigating its influence in a healthy and balanced way. One strategy is to practice media literacy, which involves critically analyzing the messages and images presented to us. By questioning the narratives and ideals portrayed in media, we can develop a more discerning eye and challenge the unrealistic standards that contribute to the spotlight effect. Additionally, it is crucial to cultivate a strong sense of self-worth and self-acceptance. By focusing on our own unique strengths and qualities, we can build resilience against the negative effects of media and develop a more positive self-image. Engaging in activities that promote self-care and self-expression can also help to counteract the negative impact of media on our self-perception. Finally, it is important to remember that social media is a curated version of reality. Behind the carefully crafted images and narratives, everyone experiences moments of vulnerability and self-doubt. By reminding ourselves that what we see online is not the full picture, we can alleviate some of the pressure to constantly compare ourselves to others. In the next section, we will explore the specific impact of social media on the spotlight effect and discuss strategies for managing social media comparison and validation. Social media and the amplification of the spotlight effect. Social media has become an integral part of our lives, allowing us to connect with others, share our thoughts and experiences, and showcase our lives to the world. However, it also has a profound impact on the way we perceive ourselves and others, often amplifying the spotlight effect. The all-encompassing nature of social media. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat have created a virtual stage where we can present ourselves to an audience that extends far beyond our immediate social circles. We carefully curate our profiles, selecting the best photos, crafting witty captions, and sharing only the highlights of our lives. In doing so, we inadvertently contribute to the amplification of the spotlight effect. The pressure to present a perfect image. On social media, we are constantly bombarded with carefully curated and filtered images of others' lives. We see their vacations, their achievements, and their seemingly perfect relationships. This constant exposure to the highlight reels of others can lead us to believe that everyone else is living a more exciting and fulfilling life than our own. As a result, we may feel an increased pressure to present a perfect image of ourselves, further fueling the spotlight effect. The fear of missing out, FOMO. Social media platforms also contribute to the fear of missing out, FOMO, phenomenon. As we scroll through our feeds, we see our friends attending parties, going on trips, and engaging in exciting activities. This constant stream of updates can make us feel left out or inadequate if our own lives don't measure up. We may start to believe that we are constantly being watched and judged for not participating in these experiences, intensifying the spotlight effect. The comparison trap. One of the most significant ways social media amplifies the spotlight effect is through the constant comparison to others. We see others' achievements, their perfect bodies, and their seemingly flawless lives, and we can't help but compare ourselves to them. This comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a distorted perception of our own worth. We may believe that everyone else is constantly watching and judging us based on these unrealistic standards, further intensifying the spotlight effect. The feedback loop of validation. Social media platforms are designed to encourage validation through likes, comments, and shares. We seek validation from others, hoping that our posts will receive positive feedback and affirm our worth. However, this constant need for validation can become a double-edged sword. When we don't receive the desired response, we may interpret it as a reflection of our own inadequacy, further fueling the spotlight effect and our fear of being judged. The permanence of online presence. Another aspect of social media that amplifies the spotlight effect is the permanence of our online presence. Unlike face-to-face interactions, our online posts and profiles remain accessible indefinitely. This can create a sense of constant scrutiny, as we worry about the potential consequences of our online presence. We may fear that any misstep or imperfection will be forever etched in the digital world, leading to heightened self-consciousness and an intensified spotlight effect. Strategies for managing the amplified spotlight effect. While social media can amplify the spotlight effect, there are strategies we can employ to mitigate its negative impact. Limit your social media consumption. Take breaks from social media to reduce exposure to the highlight reels of others and give yourself a chance to focus on your own life without constant comparison. Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that social media is a curated version of reality and that everyone experiences ups and downs. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, acknowledging that you are more than the sum of your online presence. Engage in offline activities. Cultivate a rich and fulfilling life offline by pursuing hobbies, spending time with loved ones, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. This will help shift your focus away from the virtual spotlight and towards your own personal growth and well-being. Curate your social media feed. Be mindful of the accounts you follow and the content you consume. Surround yourself with positive and uplifting voices that inspire and motivate you rather than triggering feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt. Practice digital detox. Take regular breaks from social media by setting designated periods of time where you disconnect from all social media platforms. Use this time to reconnect with yourself, reflect on your own values and goals, and engage in activities that nourish your well-being. Remember, social media is just one aspect of our lives, and it does not define our worth or determine our value. By being mindful of the amplified spotlight effect and implementing strategies to manage its impact, we can navigate social media in a way that promotes self-acceptance, authenticity, and well-being. Managing social media comparison and validation. In today's digital age, social media has become an integral part of our lives. It allows us to connect with others, share our experiences, and express ourselves. However, it also has a significant impact on the way we perceive ourselves and others. Social media platforms often create an environment where comparison and validation play a central role. This can intensify the spotlight effect, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. In this section, we will explore strategies for managing social media comparison and validation so that we can navigate the online world with confidence and authenticity. Recognizing the influence of social media. Social media platforms have revolutionized the way we communicate and interact with others. They provide us with a constant stream of information and updates from our friends, family, and even strangers. However, it is important to recognize that social media is a curated version of reality. People often present their best selves, showcasing their achievements, travels, and happy moments. This can create a distorted perception of reality, leading us to compare ourselves unfavorably to others. Understanding the dangers of social media comparison. Constant exposure to carefully crafted social media posts can lead to a negative impact on our self-esteem and self-worth. When we compare ourselves to others based on their social media presence, we often focus on their highlight reel while neglecting our own unique journey. This can create feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and a distorted sense of self. Practicing mindful social media consumption. To manage social media comparison and validation, it is crucial to practice mindful consumption. This involves being aware of our emotions and thoughts while engaging with social media platforms. By consciously monitoring our reactions and recognizing when we start to compare ourselves to others, we can take steps to mitigate the negative effects. Setting boundaries and limiting exposure. One effective strategy for managing social media comparison and validation is to set boundaries and limit our exposure to these platforms. This can involve allocating specific times of the day for social media use or even taking regular breaks from it altogether. By creating space for ourselves away from the constant stream of information, we can regain perspective and focus on our own journey. Cultivating a healthy relationship with social media. Rather than viewing social media as a source of validation, we can shift our perspective and use it as a tool for connection and inspiration. By curating our social media feeds to include content that uplifts and motivates us, we can create a positive online environment. Additionally, engaging with others in meaningful conversations and supporting their achievements can foster a sense of community and reduce the need for comparison. Embracing authenticity and vulnerability. One of the most powerful ways to combat social media comparison and validation is by embracing authenticity and vulnerability. Instead of striving for perfection, we can share our true selves and our genuine experiences. By being open and honest, we not only free ourselves from the pressure to conform, but also inspire others to do the same. Authenticity fosters genuine connections and helps us build a strong sense of self-worth that is not dependent on external validation. Focusing on personal growth and progress. Rather than comparing ourselves to others, it is essential to focus on our own personal growth and progress. Social media can be a valuable tool for self-reflection and self-improvement. By setting realistic goals and tracking our achievements, we can shift our attention from external validation to internal fulfillment. Celebrating our own milestones and recognizing our unique strengths can help us build resilience and confidence in the face of social media pressures. Seeking support and building a supportive network. Managing social media comparison and validation can be challenging, and it is important to remember that we do not have to face it alone. Seeking support from trusted friends, family, or professionals can provide us with guidance and perspective. Building a supportive network of individuals who understand the challenges of social media can help us navigate the online world with greater confidence and resilience. Practicing self-compassion. Lastly, practicing self-compassion is crucial in managing social media comparison and validation. It involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, acknowledging that we are human and prone to imperfections. By cultivating self-compassion, we can counteract the negative effects of social media and develop a healthier relationship with ourselves and the online world. In conclusion, managing social media comparison and validation is essential for navigating the online world with confidence and authenticity. By recognizing the influence of social media, setting boundaries, cultivating authenticity, and focusing on personal growth, we can mitigate the negative impact of the spotlight effect. Seeking support, practicing self-compassion, and building a supportive network are also crucial in maintaining a healthy relationship with social media. By implementing these strategies, we can harness the power of social media while staying true to ourselves and our unique journeys. Balancing online and offline presence. In today's digital age, our lives are increasingly intertwined with the online world. Social media platforms have become a significant part of our daily routines, allowing us to connect with others, share our experiences, and express ourselves. However, the rise of social media has also brought about new challenges, including the impact it has on our self-perception and the way we navigate social interactions. In this section, we will explore the importance of balancing our online and offline presence and provide practical guidance on how to maintain a healthy relationship with social media. The allure and pitfalls of social media. Social media platforms offer a multitude of benefits. They allow us to stay connected with friends and family, discover new interests, and engage with communities that share our passions. However, it is essential to recognize that social media presents a curated version of reality. People often showcase their best moments, creating an illusion of a perfect life. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy and the belief that everyone else is living a more exciting and fulfilling life. The impact of social media on self-perception. The constant exposure to carefully crafted online personas can intensify the spotlight effect. We may feel as though we are constantly being watched and judged by others, leading to self-consciousness and anxiety. It is crucial to remember that social media is not an accurate representation of reality. Comparing ourselves to others based on their online presence can be detrimental to our self-esteem and well-being. Finding balance, offline presence. To balance our online and offline presence, it is essential to cultivate a healthy relationship with social media. One way to achieve this is by focusing on our offline presence. Engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment in the real world can help us develop a stronger sense of self and reduce our reliance on external validation. Spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, and engaging in self-care activities are all ways to nurture our offline presence. Mindful social media use. While it may be tempting to completely disconnect from social media, it is not always practical or desirable. Social media can provide valuable opportunities for connection and self-expression. The key is to approach it mindfully. This means being aware of how social media affects our emotions and self-perception and making conscious choices about our online interactions. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining a healthy balance between our online and offline lives. This can include limiting the amount of time we spend on social media, designating specific times for checking our accounts, and being selective about the content we consume. It is also essential to be mindful of the impact certain individuals or accounts may have on our well-being and consider unfollowing or muting them if necessary. Authenticity and vulnerability. In a world where everyone seems to be striving for perfection, embracing authenticity and vulnerability can be a powerful antidote to the spotlight effect. Sharing our struggles, insecurities, and imperfections can not only help us connect with others on a deeper level, but also inspire them to do the same. By being genuine and true to ourselves, we can break free from the pressure to constantly present a flawless image online. Cultivating a supportive online community. Building a supportive online community can significantly impact our experience on social media. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who uplift and inspire us can counteract the negative effects of the spotlight effect. Engaging in meaningful conversations, supporting others, and seeking out communities that align with our values and interests can create a positive and empowering online environment. Taking breaks and practicing self-care. Regularly taking breaks from social media is essential for maintaining a healthy balance. Engaging in activities that promote self-care and well-being, such as exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature, can help us recharge and refocus our attention on what truly matters in our lives. It is crucial to prioritize our mental and emotional well-being over the constant need for online validation. Embracing imperfection and growth. Finally, it is important to remember that no one is perfect, and growth is a lifelong journey. Embracing our imperfections and recognizing that we are all constantly evolving can alleviate the pressure of the spotlight effect. Instead of striving for perfection, we can focus on personal growth, learning from our experiences, and celebrating our progress. By balancing our online and offline presence, setting boundaries, cultivating authenticity, and prioritizing self-care, we can navigate the world of social media in a way that enhances our well-being and minimizes the negative impact of the spotlight effect. Remember, social media is just one aspect of our lives, and it is up to us to determine how much power we give it. Chapter 7: Overcoming the Spotlight Effect. Challenging negative self-perceptions. Negative self-perceptions can be a significant barrier to overcoming the spotlight effect. When we believe that others are constantly judging us and focusing on our flaws, it can lead to feelings of self-doubt, anxiety, and low self-esteem. However, challenging these negative self-perceptions is essential for personal growth and building resilience. In this section, we will explore strategies to challenge and overcome negative self-perceptions in social situations. Recognizing negative self-perceptions. The first step in challenging negative self-perceptions is to become aware of them. Often, these perceptions are deeply ingrained and automatic, making it challenging to recognize them. However, by paying attention to our thoughts and emotions in social situations, we can start to identify patterns of negative self-perception. One effective technique is to keep a journal or use a mindfulness app to record our thoughts and feelings during social interactions. By reviewing these entries, we can gain insight into the negative self-perceptions that arise and the impact they have on our well-being. Additionally, seeking feedback from trusted friends or family members can provide an external perspective and help us identify areas where our self-perceptions may be distorted. Challenging negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is a common manifestation of negative self-perceptions. It involves the internal dialogue we have with ourselves, often filled with self-criticism and self-doubt. Challenging negative self-talk is crucial for breaking free from the cycle of negative self-perceptions. One effective strategy is to replace negative self-talk with more positive and realistic statements. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "Everyone is judging me," challenge that thought by asking yourself, "Is there any evidence to support this belief? Are there any alternative explanations for people's behavior?" By questioning the validity of negative self-talk, we can begin to reframe our thoughts in a more balanced and realistic way. Practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion is a powerful tool for challenging negative self-perceptions. It involves treating ourselves with kindness, understanding, and acceptance, especially in moments of self-doubt or failure. By cultivating self-compassion, we can counteract the harsh self-judgment that often accompanies the spotlight effect. One way to practice self-compassion is through self-affirmations. These are positive statements that remind us of our worth and strengths. For example, repeating phrases like "I am enough" or "I deserve love and acceptance" can help counteract negative self-perceptions and build self-esteem. Additionally, engaging in self-care activities can promote self-compassion. Taking time for hobbies, relaxation, and self-reflection can help us reconnect with our values and prioritize our well-being. By nurturing ourselves, we send a powerful message that we are deserving of love and acceptance, regardless of the spotlight effect. Seeking support and feedback. Overcoming negative self-perceptions can be challenging, and it is essential to seek support from others. Trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals can provide valuable feedback and perspective on our self-perceptions. They can help us challenge distorted beliefs and offer guidance on building self-esteem and resilience. Group therapy or support groups can also be beneficial for challenging negative self-perceptions. By sharing experiences with others who struggle with similar issues, we can gain a sense of belonging and realize that we are not alone in our struggles. Hearing others' perspectives and witnessing their growth can inspire us to challenge our own negative self-perceptions. Embracing growth mindset. Adopting a growth mindset is a powerful way to challenge negative self-perceptions. A growth mindset involves believing that our abilities and qualities can be developed through dedication and effort. By embracing this mindset, we can view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than confirmation of our perceived flaws. To cultivate a growth mindset, it is essential to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Celebrate your efforts, progress, and small victories along the way. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and develop new skills. By reframing setbacks as stepping stones to success, we can challenge negative self-perceptions and foster a sense of resilience and self-belief. Practicing visualization and exposure. Visualization and exposure techniques can be effective in challenging negative self-perceptions. Visualization involves mentally rehearsing successful social interactions and imagining ourselves confidently navigating various situations. By repeatedly visualizing positive outcomes, we can rewire our brains to associate social situations with success rather than anxiety. Exposure techniques involve gradually exposing ourselves to situations that trigger negative self-perceptions. Start with small, manageable steps and gradually increase the level of exposure. By facing our fears and challenging our negative self-perceptions in real-life situations, we can build confidence and resilience over time. Celebrating progress and success. Finally, it is crucial to celebrate our progress and successes along the way. Overcoming negative self-perceptions is a journey that requires patience and perseverance. Acknowledge and celebrate the moments when you challenge your negative self-perceptions and step out of your comfort zone. By recognizing your growth and resilience, you reinforce positive self-perceptions and build confidence in your ability to thrive in social situations. Remember, challenging negative self-perceptions takes time and practice. Be patient with yourself and embrace the process of personal growth. With dedication and the right strategies, you can overcome the spotlight effect and develop a positive and resilient mindset. Building resilience and self-esteem. Building resilience and self-esteem are essential components in overcoming the spotlight effect. When we have a strong sense of self-worth and the ability to bounce back from setbacks, we are better equipped to navigate social situations with confidence and ease. In this section, we will explore strategies and techniques that can help individuals build resilience and boost their self-esteem. Embracing self-acceptance. One of the first steps in building resilience and self-esteem is to embrace self-acceptance. This involves recognizing and accepting our strengths, weaknesses, and imperfections. It is important to understand that nobody is perfect, and we all have our own unique qualities and abilities. By embracing self-acceptance, we can let go of the need for constant validation from others and focus on our own self-worth. Cultivating a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. By cultivating a growth mindset, we can view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of being discouraged by failures, we can see them as stepping stones toward success. This mindset shift can significantly boost our resilience and self-esteem as we become more willing to take risks and embrace new experiences. Practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness, understanding, and forgiveness, especially during difficult times. Instead of being overly critical or judgmental towards ourselves, we can practice self-compassion by offering ourselves the same support and empathy we would give to a close friend. This practice helps us develop a more positive and nurturing relationship with ourselves, which in turn enhances our resilience and self-esteem. Setting realistic goals. Setting realistic goals is crucial in building resilience and self-esteem. When we set achievable goals, we are more likely to experience success and feel a sense of accomplishment. This, in turn, boosts our confidence and self-esteem. It is important to break down larger goals into smaller, manageable steps, allowing us to track our progress and celebrate each milestone along the way. By setting realistic goals, we can build a solid foundation for resilience and self-esteem. Building a supportive network. Having a supportive network of friends, family, or mentors can greatly contribute to building resilience and self-esteem. Surrounding ourselves with positive and uplifting individuals who believe in our abilities can provide the encouragement and support we need during challenging times. Additionally, seeking guidance and advice from trusted individuals can help us gain new perspectives and insights, further enhancing our resilience and self-esteem. Practicing self-care. Self-care plays a vital role in building resilience and self-esteem. Taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being is essential for maintaining a positive mindset and a strong sense of self. Engaging in activities that bring us joy, practicing relaxation techniques such as meditation or yoga, and prioritizing rest and rejuvenation are all important aspects of self-care. By making self-care a priority, we can replenish our energy and build the resilience needed to navigate social situations with confidence. Challenging negative self-talk. Negative self-talk can be detrimental to our resilience and self-esteem. It is important to challenge and reframe negative thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. Instead of focusing on our perceived flaws or shortcomings, we can consciously choose to focus on our strengths and achievements. By replacing negative self-talk with positive and empowering affirmations, we can cultivate a more resilient and confident mindset. Seeking professional help. In some cases, building resilience and self-esteem may require professional help. Therapists, counselors, or coaches can provide guidance and support in overcoming deep-rooted insecurities and self-doubt. They can help individuals develop personalized strategies and techniques to build resilience and boost self-esteem. Seeking professional help is a proactive step towards personal growth and can greatly contribute to thriving in social situations. By implementing these strategies and techniques, individuals can gradually build resilience and self-esteem, enabling them to overcome the spotlight effect. Remember, building resilience and self-esteem is a journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and consistent effort. With time and practice, individuals can develop the necessary skills to thrive in social situations and embrace their true potential. Mindfulness and the spotlight effect. In our journey to overcome the spotlight effect, one powerful tool that can help us navigate social situations with greater ease and self-awareness is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment to our thoughts and emotions. By cultivating mindfulness, we can develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, and gain a clearer perspective on the spotlight effect. The power of mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without getting caught up in them. It helps us become aware of the stories we tell ourselves and the narratives we create about how others perceive us. By practicing mindfulness, we can begin to recognize when the spotlight effect is influencing our thoughts and behaviors, and consciously choose how to respond. Cultivating mindfulness. There are various techniques and practices that can help us cultivate mindfulness in our daily lives. One common practice is meditation, where we sit quietly and focus our attention on our breath or a specific object, allowing thoughts to come and go without judgment. This practice helps us develop the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting carried away by them. Another way to cultivate mindfulness is through mindful awareness in everyday activities. This involves bringing our full attention to the present moment as we engage in routine tasks such as eating, walking, or even washing dishes. By paying attention to the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that arise during these activities, we can develop a greater sense of presence and self-awareness. Mindfulness and self-compassion. One important aspect of mindfulness is self-compassion. When we become aware of the spotlight effect and the negative self-perceptions it can create, it is crucial to approach ourselves with kindness and understanding. Mindfulness allows us to observe our self-critical thoughts without judgment and to cultivate a sense of self-compassion and acceptance. By practicing self-compassion, we can counteract the negative impact of the spotlight effect on our self-esteem and self-worth. We can learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a close friend or loved one. This practice helps us develop a more balanced and realistic view of ourselves and reduces the power of the spotlight effect to distort our self-perception. Mindfulness in social interactions. Mindfulness can also be applied directly to social interactions. By bringing a mindful presence to our conversations and interactions with others, we can become more attuned to their needs, emotions, and perspectives. This allows us to respond with greater empathy and understanding, and to build deeper connections with those around us. In social situations, mindfulness can help us become aware of our own thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, allowing us to respond more skillfully to challenging or anxiety-provoking situations. By staying present and grounded, we can choose our words and actions more consciously and avoid getting caught up in self-consciousness or the fear of judgment. Integrating mindfulness into daily life. To fully harness the power of mindfulness in overcoming the spotlight effect, it is important to integrate it into our daily lives. This involves making mindfulness a regular practice, rather than something we only engage in during specific moments or situations. We can incorporate mindfulness into our daily routines by setting aside dedicated time for meditation or mindful awareness exercises. Additionally, we can bring mindfulness into our everyday activities by consciously paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and sensations as we go about our day. By making mindfulness a habit, we can gradually rewire our brains and develop a more mindful and compassionate approach to ourselves and others. Over time, this can help us navigate social situations with greater ease, resilience, and authenticity, and reduce the impact of the spotlight effect on our well-being. Conclusion. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in our journey to overcome the spotlight effect. By cultivating mindfulness, we can develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, and gain a clearer perspective on how the spotlight effect influences our thoughts and behaviors. Through mindfulness, we can cultivate self-compassion, navigate social interactions with greater ease, and integrate mindfulness into our daily lives. By harnessing the power of mindfulness, we can thrive in the spotlight and live more authentically and confidently in social situations. Seeking support and professional help. While overcoming the spotlight effect may seem like a daunting task, it is important to remember that you do not have to face it alone. Seeking support and professional help can provide you with the guidance and tools necessary to navigate through the challenges that arise from the spotlight effect. In this section, we will explore the various avenues of support available to individuals struggling with the spotlight effect and how they can be beneficial in your journey towards self-acceptance and personal growth. The importance of support. When dealing with the spotlight effect, it is crucial to recognize that seeking support is not a sign of weakness, but rather a courageous step towards self-improvement. Support can come in many forms, including friends, family, mentors, or support groups. These individuals can offer a listening ear, provide encouragement, and share their own experiences, helping you realize that you are not alone in your struggles. Therapy and counseling. Therapy and counseling can be invaluable resources for individuals grappling with the spotlight effect. A trained therapist or counselor can help you explore the underlying causes of your self-consciousness, challenge negative thought patterns, and develop coping strategies to navigate social situations more confidently. They can also provide a safe and non-judgmental space for you to express your fears and insecurities, allowing you to gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your emotions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a widely used therapeutic approach that can be particularly effective in addressing the spotlight effect. CBT focuses on identifying and challenging negative thought patterns and beliefs that contribute to self-consciousness. Through this process, you can learn to reframe your thoughts, develop more realistic perceptions of how others perceive you, and build healthier self-esteem. Group therapy and support groups. Group therapy and support groups provide a unique opportunity to connect with others who are facing similar challenges. Sharing experiences, listening to others' stories, and offering support can foster a sense of belonging and reduce feelings of isolation. These groups often provide a safe space for individuals to practice social skills, receive feedback, and learn from one another's successes and setbacks. Self-help resources. In addition to professional support, there are also numerous self-help resources available that can aid in overcoming the spotlight effect. Books, online articles, podcasts, and workshops can provide valuable insights, practical strategies, and exercises to help you develop a more positive mindset and navigate social situations with greater ease. These resources can be accessed at your own pace and tailored to your specific needs. Mindfulness and meditation. Practicing mindfulness and meditation can be beneficial for individuals struggling with the spotlight effect. These techniques can help you cultivate self-awareness, reduce anxiety, and improve your ability to stay present in social situations. By focusing on the present moment and observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you can develop a greater sense of calm and acceptance. Seeking professional help. In some cases, the spotlight effect may be deeply ingrained and require the expertise of mental health professionals. Psychiatrists, psychologists, and other specialized therapists can provide a comprehensive assessment of your mental health and offer targeted interventions to address any underlying conditions contributing to your self-consciousness. They can also prescribe medication, if necessary, to alleviate symptoms of anxiety or depression that may be exacerbating the spotlight effect. Building a supportive network. As you seek support and professional help, it is important to surround yourself with a supportive network of individuals who understand and validate your experiences. This network can include friends, family, mentors, or even online communities. By fostering connections with people who uplift and encourage you, you can create a positive environment that promotes personal growth and resilience. Taking the first step. Taking the first step towards seeking support and professional help can be challenging, but it is a crucial part of your journey towards overcoming the spotlight effect. Reach out to a trusted individual, research therapists in your area, or explore online resources that resonate with you. Remember, you are not alone, and there are resources available to help you navigate through the challenges and embrace your true potential. In the next chapter, we will delve into the concept of thriving in the spotlight and explore strategies for sustaining success and well-being in social situations. Chapter 8: Thriving in the Spotlight. Embracing opportunities for growth. In the previous chapters, we have explored the various aspects of the spotlight effect and its impact on our lives. We have delved into the psychology behind it, examined its influence on self-perception, and discuss strategies for overcoming its negative effects. Now, in this chapter, we will shift our focus towards embracing the spotlight and using it as a catalyst for personal growth and development. Embracing challenges. When we find ourselves in the spotlight, whether it be in a social setting, at work, or in any other aspect of our lives, it can often feel overwhelming. The fear of judgment and scrutiny can hold us back from fully embracing the opportunities that come our way. However, by reframing our mindset and viewing these moments as opportunities for growth, we can begin to unlock our true potential. Embracing challenges means stepping out of our comfort zones and taking risks. It means recognizing that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but rather a stepping stone towards success. By embracing challenges, we open ourselves up to new experiences, skills, and perspectives that can enrich our lives. Cultivating a growth mindset. One of the key factors in embracing opportunities for growth is cultivating a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. It is the understanding that setbacks and failures are not permanent, but rather opportunities to learn and improve. To cultivate a growth mindset, we can start by reframing our thoughts and beliefs about our abilities. Instead of viewing our skills as fixed and unchangeable, we can adopt a more flexible perspective. We can remind ourselves that with effort and perseverance, we can improve and achieve our goals. Additionally, it is important to embrace challenges and setbacks as learning opportunities. Rather than avoiding difficult situations, we can approach them with curiosity and a willingness to learn. By reframing failures as stepping stones towards success, we can overcome the fear of judgment and embrace the spotlight with confidence. Setting goals and taking action. Embracing opportunities for growth also involves setting goals and taking action towards achieving them. By setting clear and achievable goals, we can create a roadmap for our personal and professional development. These goals can be both short-term and long-term, and they should align with our values and aspirations. Once we have set our goals, it is important to take consistent action towards achieving them. This may involve stepping outside of our comfort zones, seeking new experiences, and acquiring new skills. It may also require us to seek guidance and support from mentors or professionals in our chosen field. Taking action towards our goals not only helps us grow and develop, but it also boosts our confidence and self-esteem. Each step we take towards our goals reinforces our belief in our abilities and strengthens our resilience in the face of challenges. Embracing feedback and learning from mistakes. In the spotlight, feedback becomes an invaluable tool for growth. Embracing feedback, whether it be positive or constructive, allows us to gain insights into our strengths and areas for improvement. It provides us with an opportunity to learn and grow, ultimately helping us to thrive in the spotlight. When receiving feedback, it is important to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Instead of becoming defensive or dismissive, we can view feedback as a valuable resource for self-improvement. By actively seeking feedback and incorporating it into our growth journey, we can continuously evolve and refine our skills. Similarly, embracing mistakes and failures as learning opportunities is crucial for personal growth. Mistakes are inevitable, but it is how we respond to them that determines our growth. By reframing mistakes as opportunities to learn and improve, we can overcome the fear of failure and embrace the spotlight with resilience and determination. Celebrating success and reflecting on growth. Finally, embracing opportunities for growth also involves celebrating our successes and reflecting on our growth. It is important to acknowledge and appreciate our achievements, no matter how small they may seem. By celebrating our successes, we reinforce our belief in our abilities and motivate ourselves to continue striving for excellence. Additionally, reflecting on our growth journey allows us to recognize the progress we have made and the obstacles we have overcome. It provides us with a sense of perspective and gratitude for the lessons learned along the way. By regularly reflecting on our growth, we can stay grounded and maintain a positive mindset in the spotlight. In conclusion, embracing opportunities for growth in the spotlight requires a shift in mindset, a willingness to take risks, and a commitment to continuous learning. By cultivating a growth mindset, setting goals, taking action, embracing feedback, and celebrating success, we can thrive in the spotlight and unlock our true potential. So, let us embrace the spotlight with open arms and use it as a catalyst for personal growth and development. Developing a positive spotlight mindset. In the previous chapter, we explored strategies for overcoming the negative impact of the spotlight effect. Now, let's shift our focus to developing a positive spotlight mindset. By cultivating a positive mindset, we can harness the power of the spotlight effect to our advantage and thrive in social situations. Embracing self-acceptance. One of the key aspects of developing a positive spotlight mindset is embracing self-acceptance. It's important to recognize that we are all imperfect beings, and that's okay. Instead of constantly seeking validation from others, we should learn to accept ourselves for who we are. This self-acceptance allows us to approach social situations with confidence and authenticity, knowing that we are enough just as we are. Cultivating self-compassion. Alongside self-acceptance, cultivating self-compassion is crucial in developing a positive spotlight mindset. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we make mistakes or face challenges. Instead of berating ourselves for perceived flaws or failures, we should practice self-compassion by offering ourselves the same empathy and support we would give to a close friend. This mindset shift allows us to approach social interactions with a sense of self-worth and resilience. focusing on strengths and growth. Another important aspect of developing a positive spotlight mindset is focusing on our strengths and embracing a growth mindset. Rather than fixating on our perceived weaknesses or shortcomings, we should shift our attention to our unique talents, skills, and qualities. By recognizing and nurturing our strengths, we can build confidence and a sense of purpose. Additionally, adopting a growth mindset allows us to view challenges as opportunities for learning and personal growth, rather than as threats to our self-worth. Practicing gratitude and mindfulness. Gratitude and mindfulness are powerful tools in developing a positive spotlight mindset. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a sense of contentment and appreciation for the present moment. This mindset shift can help us approach social situations with a positive outlook and a genuine appreciation for the connections we make with others. Additionally, mindfulness allows us to stay present and fully engage in social interactions, rather than getting caught up in self-conscious thoughts or worries about how we are perceived. Surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people we surround ourselves with can greatly impact our mindset and self-perception. To develop a positive spotlight mindset, it's important to surround ourselves with supportive and positive influences. Seek out friends, mentors, or role models who uplift and inspire you. Engage in communities or groups that share your values and encourage personal growth. By surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can reinforce our positive mindset and build a strong support system. Setting realistic expectations. Setting realistic expectations is essential in developing a positive spotlight mindset. It's important to remember that no one is perfect, and social interactions will not always go smoothly. By setting realistic expectations for ourselves and others, we can alleviate unnecessary pressure and reduce the fear of judgment. Embrace the fact that making mistakes and facing challenges is a natural part of growth and learning. By doing so, we can approach social situations with a sense of ease and resilience. Celebrating successes, big and small. In the pursuit of a positive spotlight mindset, it's important to celebrate our successes, no matter how big or small. Acknowledge and appreciate your achievements, whether it's overcoming social anxiety, speaking up in a group setting, or simply engaging in a meaningful conversation. By celebrating these successes, we reinforce our positive mindset and build confidence in our ability to thrive in social situations. Practicing self-care. Self-care plays a vital role in developing a positive spotlight mindset. Taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being allows us to show up as our best selves in social interactions. Prioritize activities that recharge and rejuvenate you, whether it's engaging in hobbies, spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support from loved ones. By prioritizing self-care, we can cultivate a positive mindset and approach social situations with a sense of balance and well-being. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity. Lastly, developing a positive spotlight mindset involves embracing vulnerability and authenticity. Instead of trying to project a perfect image or hiding our true selves, we should embrace our vulnerabilities and allow ourselves to be authentic. By doing so, we create genuine connections with others and invite them to do the same. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity fosters a positive spotlight mindset by allowing us to show up as our true selves and build meaningful relationships. In conclusion, developing a positive spotlight mindset involves embracing self-acceptance, cultivating self-compassion, focusing on strengths and growth, practicing gratitude and mindfulness, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, setting realistic expectations, celebrating successes, practicing self-care, and embracing vulnerability and authenticity. By adopting these practices, we can harness the power of the spotlight effect to thrive in social situations and lead a fulfilling life. Harnessing the power of the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect, as we have explored throughout this book, can have a profound impact on our self-perception and social interactions. It can often lead to feelings of self-consciousness, anxiety, and even hinder our ability to thrive in social situations. However, it is important to recognize that the spotlight effect is not inherently negative. In fact, when harnessed effectively, it can be a powerful tool for personal growth, self-improvement, and success. Embracing the spotlight effect. To harness the power of the spotlight effect, we must first embrace it. Instead of viewing it as a burden or a source of anxiety, we can reframe our perspective and see it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By recognizing that others are not as focused on us as we may think, we can free ourselves from the constraints of self-consciousness and embrace the potential that comes with being in the spotlight. Leveraging self-awareness. Self-awareness is a key component in harnessing the power of the spotlight effect. By understanding our strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement, we can use the spotlight to our advantage. When we are aware of how we are perceived by others, we can make conscious efforts to enhance our positive qualities and work on areas that may need improvement. This self-awareness allows us to present ourselves in a way that aligns with our goals and aspirations. Using the spotlight effect as motivation. The spotlight effect can serve as a powerful motivator. When we believe that others are watching and evaluating our actions, we are more likely to strive for excellence. This can push us to work harder, set higher goals, and continuously improve ourselves. By harnessing the power of the spotlight effect as a source of motivation, we can achieve personal and professional growth that may have otherwise been elusive. Building confidence and self-esteem. One of the most significant benefits of harnessing the power of the spotlight effect is the boost it can provide to our confidence and self-esteem. When we recognize that others are not scrutinizing our every move, we can let go of self-doubt and embrace our unique qualities and abilities. By focusing on our strengths and accomplishments, we can build a strong foundation of self-confidence that allows us to thrive in social situations and beyond. Seeking opportunities for growth. The spotlight effect can also be a catalyst for personal and professional growth. When we are aware that others may be observing us, we become more open to feedback and constructive criticism. This willingness to learn and grow can lead to new opportunities, improved skills, and a broader perspective. By actively seeking out opportunities for growth, we can harness the power of the spotlight effect to propel ourselves forward. Inspiring and influencing others. When we embrace the spotlight effect and use it to our advantage, we have the potential to inspire and influence others. By showcasing our strengths, sharing our knowledge, and demonstrating our expertise, we can become a source of inspiration for those around us. The spotlight effect can amplify our impact and allow us to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Balancing humility and confidence. While harnessing the power of the spotlight effect can be beneficial, it is essential to strike a balance between humility and confidence. It is crucial to remain humble and grounded, acknowledging that we are not perfect and that there is always room for improvement. At the same time, we must have confidence in our abilities and believe in ourselves. By finding this balance, we can navigate the spotlight with grace and authenticity. Cultivating resilience. Harnessing the power of the spotlight effect requires resilience. There will inevitably be times when we face criticism, setbacks, or failures. However, by developing resilience, we can bounce back from these challenges and continue to thrive. Resilience allows us to learn from our mistakes, adapt to new situations, and maintain a positive mindset even in the face of adversity. Sustaining success and well-being. Finally, harnessing the power of the spotlight effect is not just about achieving success, but also sustaining it. It is essential to prioritize our well-being and maintain a healthy balance in our lives. By taking care of our physical and mental health, nurturing our relationships, and setting boundaries, we can ensure that we continue to thrive in the spotlight while also enjoying a fulfilling and meaningful life. In conclusion, the spotlight effect is a powerful force that can shape our self-perception and social interactions. By harnessing its power, we can embrace opportunities for growth, build confidence, inspire others, and sustain success. It is through understanding, self-awareness, and resilience that we can truly thrive in the spotlight and lead a fulfilling life. Sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight. Being in the spotlight can bring about both opportunities and challenges. While it can be exhilarating to receive recognition and attention for your achievements, it can also be overwhelming and put a strain on your well-being. In this section, we will explore strategies and practices that can help you sustain success and maintain your well-being while navigating the spotlight. Balancing work and personal life. One of the key aspects of sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight is finding a balance between your work and personal life. It is important to prioritize self-care and make time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This could include hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or engaging in activities that help you recharge and rejuvenate. Setting boundaries is crucial in maintaining this balance. Learn to say no when necessary and delegate tasks when possible. Remember that it is okay to take breaks and prioritize your mental and physical health. By finding this balance, you can avoid burnout and ensure that you have the energy and focus to continue thriving in the spotlight. Cultivating a supportive network. Having a strong support system is essential for sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about your well-being and who can provide emotional support and guidance. This network can include friends, family, mentors, or even fellow professionals who understand the unique challenges of being in the spotlight. Regularly connect with your support network and seek their advice and perspective. They can offer valuable insights and help you navigate difficult situations. Additionally, they can provide a sense of grounding and remind you of your worth beyond the spotlight. Remember that you don't have to face the challenges alone, and reaching out for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Practicing self-reflection and growth. Continuous self-reflection and personal growth are vital for sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight. Take the time to reflect on your experiences, both positive and negative, and learn from them. Identify areas where you can improve and set goals for yourself. This could involve developing new skills, expanding your knowledge, or seeking opportunities for personal and professional growth. Embrace feedback and constructive criticism as opportunities for growth rather than personal attacks. Use them as stepping stones to refine your skills and enhance your performance. By adopting a growth mindset, you can turn challenges into opportunities and continue to thrive in the spotlight. Prioritizing mental and physical health. Taking care of your mental and physical health is crucial for sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight. Make self-care a priority by incorporating activities that promote relaxation, stress reduction, and overall well-being into your daily routine. This could include exercise, meditation, mindfulness practices, or engaging in hobbies that bring you joy. Additionally, ensure that you are getting enough rest and sleep. Lack of sleep can negatively impact your cognitive abilities, mood, and overall performance. Prioritize a healthy diet and stay hydrated to maintain your energy levels and support your overall well-being. Celebrating achievements and practicing gratitude. In the midst of the spotlight, it is important to take the time to celebrate your achievements and acknowledge your progress. Celebrating milestones, big or small, can help you maintain motivation and a positive mindset. It also serves as a reminder of your capabilities and the hard work you have put into your success. Practicing gratitude is another powerful tool for sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight. Take a moment each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for, whether it's the support of loved ones, opportunities that have come your way, or personal growth you have experienced. Cultivating a sense of gratitude can help you stay grounded, maintain perspective, and appreciate the journey you are on. Seeking professional help. If you find yourself struggling to sustain success and well-being in the spotlight, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Mental health professionals can provide guidance, support, and strategies to help you navigate the challenges that come with being in the spotlight. They can help you develop coping mechanisms, manage stress, and address any underlying issues that may be impacting your well-being. Remember that seeking help is a sign of strength and self-care. It is important to prioritize your mental health and well-being above all else. By seeking professional help, you can gain valuable insights and tools to sustain your success and well-being in the spotlight. In conclusion, sustaining success and well-being in the spotlight requires a holistic approach that prioritizes self-care, support, personal growth, and gratitude. By finding balance, cultivating a supportive network, practicing self-reflection, prioritizing mental and physical health, celebrating achievements, and seeking professional help when needed, you can navigate the challenges of the spotlight while maintaining your well-being and thriving in your endeavors. As we reach the conclusion of the spotlight effect, shining and obscuring in social situations, I hope this journey has been illuminating and transformative for you. We've explored the intricate dance between perception and reality in social interactions, uncovering the nuances of how we shine and obscure in the spotlight of others' attention. Remember, your self-perception matters just as much as how others perceive you. By understanding the spotlight effect and its impact, you've taken a significant step toward self-awareness and empowerment in social situations. I invite you to continue practicing mindfulness and self-reflection in your daily interactions. Embrace your unique qualities and strengths, and don't let the spotlight dim your inner light. Mindful Literary is dedicated to providing resources for personal growth and understanding, and I encourage you to explore further insights and tools for navigating life's complexities. Thank you for embarking on this enlightening journey with us. May you continue to shine authentically and thrive in all areas of your life. Keep shining bright.